tomorrow. Embarrassment of riches for old pals of Epstein. Daily Express. Prime Minister wants to rewind freedom Brexit gave us. The Daily Mail. Andrew in new Epstein legal threats. The Times. New Epstein victim. I was sent for sex with Andrew. The Daily Mirror. Epstein flew me to Andrew at Royal Lodge. Second woman's sex claim. And The Sun. Very important story here. Lewis dating Kim K. That is all we have time for. Up next is The Late Show Live, hosted by the one and only Ben Leo. Ben, over to you.
Thanks, Alex. Coming up tonight, big questions in my book for Sir Keir Starmer. I know Lord Mandelson, has just resigned, fine, very well, from the Labour Party. But why did Keir Starmer appoint him in the first place, knowing he had a history of a friendship or an acquaintanceship with Jeffrey Epstein? I think there's big questions now on Keir Starmer and his judgment, basically. Elsewhere, should Gary Lineker be banned from the US this summer because of his anti-government rhetoric? I think it's an attack on free speech, but more in just a tick.
I'm Andrew Pearce. This is GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates,
5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5.
You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah. Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight.
On the unpredictable.
What does she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace
Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camila Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camila Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I ever got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK, we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News, the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
I'm Bev Turner. Thank you for joining us on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Good morning to you. Peter Mandelson has quit the Labour Party.
Yeah, this is after the latest batch of Epstein files appeared to reveal payments sent by the convicted paedophile to the former US ambassador.
Now, it's only a matter of time until he resigns from the House of Lords. That is the question.
Is your money dirty money?
If you live,
I just ask a question. Is your money dirty money? Do you think you're the devil himself?
Plus, even more bombshell revelations emerged from the Epstein files. Stay tuned for all the full, gory details.
In a GB News exclusive, we'll be talking to the mother of Riannon White, whose illegal immigrant killer was sentenced to at least 29 years in prison last Friday. You won't want to miss her powerful message to the government.
Talking of the government, it draws up plans to engineer more diversity in, yes, the countryside, after a report criticised places like the Cotswolds for being too white.
British talent is winning big at the Grammys.
I never really imagined that I would be up here, let alone nominated, so thank you so much.
Yes, that's that Londoner Olivia Dean taking home the award for the Best New Artist, and there's no shortage of political speeches either.
Yes, on the biggest night of the year for music, it was the politics that took over. I'll be explaining exactly why later in this show.
And as 1 in 5 Britons consider ending a relationship over a pay gap, we'll be debating, is this sensible? Is this natural? Or is it just shallow? 7:20 today. If you have a disagreement with your partner over what they're paid or what you are paid.
And sport this morning, Man City throw away a 2-goal lead for the first time in 8 years to draw 2-2 at Spurs. Manchester United score in Fergie time to win their 3rd game on the bounce. And could women play 5 sets at the Australian Open from next year?
Now, as we start the new month of February, will the weather change compared to January? Join me for all the latest later.
So here we are, a new day, a new week. We thank you for your company. We're with you right through until 9:30. I'm Eamonn Holmes.
And I'm Dawn Neeson, and a very good morning to you all.
Big breaking news overnight. Lord Mandelson has resigned as a member of the Labour Party.
In a statement, the former US ambassador said he wanted to avoid further embarrassment to the party.
Well, that's after the latest tranche of Epstein files suggested Lord Mandelson received $75,000 in separate payments from Epstein in 2003 and 2004.
So, are you surprised by this, shocked by this, Eamonn?
Well, he doesn't seem to remember these payments. I mean, they're pretty big payments not to remember.
It's, $50,000 between him and his husband. I mean, you would have thought you would actually notice that. I think I certainly would have noticed it dropping into my bank account. I think there are huge questions to be asked after this one. I think this is worse than the Andrew side of things, because this involves our government. This involves money passing hands when Mandelson was our business secretary. And he was trying to get things changed, lobbying for things in the House. I think there is a lot of questions that our current Prime Minister and previous Prime Ministers have to answer on this one.
Let's get some political perspective on all of this now. Lauren McKevitt joins us in the studio. She's a former Conservative advisor. How do you predict Lord Mandelson's future after all of this?
So this is following reporting in the Financial Times by Dan Needle and Jim Pickard. It should be said that Mandelson, in responding to Dan, I think by text message, which has now been made public, is denying that he received money from Epstein. He's denying that he owns property in Brazil. He's denying an awful lot of what is in the emails that have been seen. It is, of course, possible that the emails are not accurate. We don't see full email addresses when these things are published because they're redacted. It's possible that somebody who is not Peter Mandelson or Peter Mandelson's husband was involved in this, but that's a big if. He's done, I think, the only thing possible to save the Labour Party further embarrassment, which is to quit the Labour Party. I think they'll be prying him out of the House of Lords by his fingernails, because it's not something he's going to give up easily. It's certainly not while he's claiming that these allegations are false.
The question here, one of the questions I have, Lauren, is how was this man... All of this was in the public domain in the first place. We knew of Mandelson's links with Epstein. We knew it went back to when Epstein was a convicted sex trafficker, and we knew that Mandelson was staying at his flat in New York. We've seen the pictures on the front pages today of him in his underpants. If you're having breakfast, don't look. How was he given the job as American ambassador when all of that was in the public domain?
Well, it was. I mean, the rumours at the time were that the Chief of Staff in Number 10, Morgan McSweeney, who I think used to work for Mandelson at one point, was the driving force behind appointing him to the ambassador position in New York, in Washington. This is obviously at least the fourth, possibly fifth time Mandelson has had to resign from something in disgrace. So it's questionable as to why, for so many reasons, he's been allowed to rehabilitate himself within the Labour Party again and again and again. But I think it shows on his part, on the Labour Party's part, an enormous sort of a blasé attitude towards the treatment of women, towards the justice system more broadly, because, you know, appointing somebody like Mandelson to this position again, when this was already known, as you said, just, you know, ignores how many women were sex trafficked last year, how many women were raped last year, how many cases did not make it to courts.
I mean, I'm totally confused as to what this was all about. Was that what it was all about? Do they do business with each other as well? Why do they mix? Why do you have Lord Mandelson, a gay man, standing in his underpants with a woman in a bathrobe in a bedroom? You know, well, there's so many questions you just can't answer. What was happening? What was it all about?
Well, so many questions you can't answer, and I would imagine that so many questions that if the denials are as strong from Mandelson as they appear to be in relation to the finances, at least, will instigate some form of legal proceeding somewhere down the line. But he does appear to be fairly vociferously denying the financial allegations that have been made in the last couple of days. The picture will speak, you know, more than, I think, 10,000 words rather than just 2,000 words. But it's hard to tell how he could ever sit in the House of Lords again comfortably, but it's also very difficult to expel people from the House of Lords.
Well, indeed. I mean, he seriously can't. He's obviously resigned membership of the Labour Party. That happened overnight. That's the breaking news. But he's also set to be summoned to give evidence before Congress in America, who they believe he has much more information about Epstein and who were the co-conspirators in this sex trafficking ring, which obviously stretches all the way to Russia now and Russian honey traps. The problem is, Lauren, Congress can't compel Brits to go over there and give testimony, can they?
I don't think so, but it would be very foolish, I think, for him not to go, because the reputational damage involved in looking like he's dodging it, if he is so vociferous in saying, look, these allegations about the money aren't true, I think it would look very, very foolish for him, and it's sort of quite negative for him to say, no, I'm not coming over, no, I'm not talking to you.
Because that's what happened to Andrew. Andrew was also requested to go to Congress and testify in November. He refused to go. The problem is, if Mandelson doesn't, he can't set foot on American soil again, because then he could be subpoenaed to give that evidence. So
Andrew is obviously a very different kettle of fish because he's not a politician, he's not in a legislative body within the United Kingdom. Mandelson has been, and has, you know, very deep links to the Labour Party, even though he's resigned. The reputational hit that all of Peter's associates are going to take is going to be massive. Andrew has already, I think, suffered as much as possible from the royal family ostracising him. And, you know, his choice, therefore, embarrasses himself and his immediate family, but not the wider circuit who have booted him out. I think Peter Mandelson's obligation towards the Labour Party, even as a resigned member, may encourage him to go over and talk to them. But I don't think they can compel. If he's in genuine fear of being arrested when he's there, he may decide not to go. But I don't know that there's anything that he could be arrested for. There's nothing, I think, chargeable within what is alleged against him.
Lawrence, so much news about today, so many things that require comment. And just while I've got you knowing your country roots, for instance, there is a report being published, a diversity drive to make Britain's countryside less white. Now, the Children's National Landscape Team has set out proposals that include community outreach schemes to attract more Muslims to the country areas, particularly to get them out of Luton and into the countryside. I mean, have you heard anything about this?
So this has been a drumbeat, an effort that the Environment Department has been on for a while. They commissioned a study in 2018 that was run by Julian Glover, and another one in 2022, both of which said the same thing. So this is sort of a hobby horse that has been rumbling in the background. The difference being, I think, that the Conservative Environment Secretaries didn't go down the road of actually trying to enact what these reports are saying, and it looks like the Labour Party might do so. It should be stressed that DEFRA is an England-only department. Wales has already been doing this under a Labour government in Cardiff Bay for a long time, and their efforts have been rubbished by pretty much everybody. But what the report also says is that the countryside should be more sort of disabled friendly, and that's something that I think a lot of people would support.
Yeah.
There's been a massive closure of public loos, for example. There's very little public transport. Pathways in hiking areas don't have really enough stretches that could be wheelchair accessible. No one's anticipating that all stretches will be, but there aren't possibly enough that are wheelchair accessible. And that's something that Natural Resources Wales and the Welsh Government did do better, was disabled access. But one of the things about the sort of the race report in relation to the countryside that was mentioned is dogs, and dogs being scary for certain demographics in the United Kingdom and England. That's something where it's not necessarily wrong to do more education on how dogs behave in the countryside. Too many dogs are off leads, too many dogs are bothering sheep, are causing sheep to miscarry. That's something where I think the proof of what needs to happen to encourage more people into the countryside is better education in the system of the countryside code. Too many people of all races, of all religions, are showing up in the countryside and behaving incredibly badly about dog fouling, about dogs on leads, about all manner of stuff related to city folk coming to the countryside, regardless of race. And a lot of that could be solved and encouraged for children to come into the countryside through education in schools about the countryside code.
Just generally, I would say, surely there's more things to take care of in the countryside and matters pertaining to trying to earn a living or live in the countryside than what we're looking at here.
Yeah, one of the things that's mentioned in the report, or a couple of the reports in the past, is that, you know, people will show up in a village and the sort of social area available is a pub, and that might not be an appropriate area because they might not serve appropriate food, or they might be serving alcohol. And you know, we're struggling to keep rural pubs open anyway.
Well, quite.
The idea that, well, in addition to a pub, a village has got to try and support a coffee shop when no one is showing up to go to the pub to begin with, I think is very foolish. The countryside in England, the countryside across the United Kingdom, regardless of who's running it, is struggling. It's struggling with infrastructure issues, it's struggling with agricultural issues, it's struggling with social issues. The idea that just, you know, the 20% of the population of the United Kingdom who don't recognise themselves as being white British, don't feel comfortable going to the countryside, is not the countryside's biggest problem.
Well, Lauren, thank you very much indeed for your take on just two of the big stories that we'll be talking about today. Remember, have your say. Lauren's spoken, she's had her say, and she's going to be back after 7 o'clock today. And if you've got something to say, please do register at gbnews.com/your say, or you can scan that little square on the right-hand side of the screen. Lauren, thank you for the moment.
OK, now the horrific murder of Riannon White, a 27-year-old hotel worker and mother who was stabbed to death by an illegal immigrant from Sudan. It shocked the nation back in October 2024.
Now, we've got a big interview with Siobhan White, Riannon's mother, at 8:20 this morning. She is speaking out, and we're going to have her live in the studio for that. Well, 15 months later, Riannon's killer has been jailed for a minimum of 29 years. So, but first, Sophia Hill brings us this report on one of the most shocking murder cases in recent memory.
The vicious murder of a young mother waiting for her train home. Her attacker, an asylum seeker who laughed and danced after stabbing her. Riannon White died 3 days later from a brainstem injury. She had been working cleaning and serving food at the Park Inn Hotel, where her killer, Den Majek, a Sudanese small boat migrant, was staying. On the 20th of October 2024, CCTV showed Majek staring at Riannon while she handed out snacks. A witness later told Wolverhampton Crown Court they felt scared and believed that he was going to do something that night. Staff reported feeling intimidated and informed hotel security. After Riannon finished her shift at 11 p.m, she walked across the road to Mascot train station. Unbeknown to her, Majek waited in the car park and followed her. CCTV shows him walking up the steps behind her. Seconds later, he attacked her on the platform. She suffered multiple stab wounds and died 3 days later from a brainstem injury. CCTV later showed Majek leaving the station, throwing her phone into a river, buying alcohol and returning to the hotel as the emergency services arrived. Police recovered footage of him laughing and dancing. Prosecutors said he was clearly excited by what he had done.
In regard to all the matters to which I have referred, I set that minimum term at 29 years. From this must be deducted the 466 days you have spent on remand in custody. This means that the minimum term you will serve before you can be considered for release is 27 years and 264 days. Yes, please take him.
Riannon's family described their loss as catastrophic. She was a mother, a sister, an aunt and a daughter whose life was taken in the most horrific way. Sophia Hill, GB News.
That report from Sophia Hill, and joining us now, we've got a former Metropolitan Police officer.
Graham Wetton. Graham, good to see you. Thank you very much. Obviously, we've been covering this story an awful lot since the sentencing on Friday of this. I'm not going to use his name because I referred to him as a piece of filth on Friday. I'm going to continue to do that. It's one of the most horrible things that I can remember covering for a long, long time. What do you make of the family's reaction? I mean, Riannon's mum has said Keir Starmer does not give a damn about women and girls in this country. This man should not have been here. Graham, what's your thoughts?
I completely agree with that. How that family would cope with this, bear in mind they had to go through a whole trial at Crown Court. They'd heard all the facts of the attack on their daughter, the extent of the injuries, how she sustained the injuries and died. What they haven't been told, and the court weren't told, was any motive or reason why. He's refused to answer questions. Is yet another undocumented and effectively unknown man in our country who's allowed to roam free and carry out such a violent, premeditated and brutal attack on a young woman. I'm really interested to listen to Mum's interview at 8:20 on your show just to see and hear what she says. But how the family have coped with sitting through a trial, I've no idea how they've dealt with that.
I mean, this is the thing, Graham. I mean, he forced the family to go through the trial. He still, during the entire trial, admitted that, you know, no liability whatsoever, you know, despite being covered in Riannon's blood. Sorry for the details, but I think we do need to talk about it. He denied any responsibility. He forced that family to go through even more horrors, and he showed no remorse whatsoever.
No, he hasn't. Overwhelming evidence, the judge described it as DNA, I think her DNA under his fingernails, as you mentioned there, it is early in the morning, but her blood all over his clothing. He denied being the person in the images that you were just showing on CCTV. No responsibility, no motive shown for it. But I think it also shows that the challenges, the additional challenges of police detectives having investigating a murder where you've got somebody who you know nothing about at all, who's entered the country illegally, you have to almost like take their word or their account of where they've been, what they've done, even how old they are. He first of all claimed he was 18 years old. They've had to prove what they believe to be his age, no knowledge about his background at all, previous offences, mental health history, nothing like that at all. He's refused to answer any questions throughout the process, is my understanding. So makes it exceptionally difficult for the detectives to investigate this and almost tracking back through Europe, speaking to our European counterparts. I think one of the documents they used was an asylum application in Germany that indicated his age was much older than he's now claiming it to be.
Graham, then after the murder, he's seen on camera dancing in the car park with other residents from this hotel while blue and red lights are flashing in the background, and they've turned up at the scene having found Riannon's body. What do you think all of this means for the immigration system and what is happening? What are the knock-on effects, if any, from this?
I think they need to look again at how we identify people, how we document people that are in the country applying for asylum, what we know about them and what can be known about them. I think the authorities, the government, need to look at the checks that are made when people first land in this country and almost try and get a documented history of where they've been and what they've done. Makes it exceptionally difficult. You wouldn't leave your front and back door open and let anybody just walk in. And when you walk into your house and find them sitting there, you wouldn't just sit next to them and accept them. I think it's almost like that analogy. That's what's happening to the country now. We've got undocumented individuals. Many of them clearly pose a danger to society, and we're allowing this to happen. For investigators and policing, it makes it a real challenge when these people commit offences to try and find something out about them. When I started my career, if you arrested somebody, you had a background, you could find out a background about them. We haven't got that with many of these individuals that have committed offences. I think it makes it exceptionally challenging, and it needs urgent review.
OK, Graham, got to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed for your analysis. Much appreciated. And we have Riannon's mother, Siobhan, who's grieving terribly, and she's chosen to speak to GB News about all of this at 8:20 live here on the programme. You've heard what Graham Wetton had to say there. What do you have to say? Have your say on this morning. What needs to change? Will anything change or not?
Yeah, you won't want to miss it. It's the first time our Riannon's mum has spoken out, and she's doing so very bravely. So please do stay with us to give her the support she needs. And she is starting a campaign for the safety of women and girls in this country. And she has very, very strong words to say about our politicians. That's coming up at 8:20 this morning. Please stay with us for that. OK, but first, let's get a quick weather update with Liam Eslick.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning and welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. As the first week of February begins, the weather is still going to be very similar to what we saw in January. Many grey skies around, and there will be some more outbreaks of rain to come. Now, it was a chilly start, especially across Northern Ireland this morning. We had some icy patches here, but now things are starting to cloud over through this morning. We will see a few outbreaks of some showers across central England and Wales, and a bit more persistent rain across eastern Scotland as well. Winds here are pretty strong. We could see some gale force winds up towards those Northern Isles. Temperatures-wise, around what we would expect for the beginning of February, between sort of 6 and 9 degrees across the country. Now, this rain band across the south coming across the Channel, that is going to move its way northwards. So we do have another rain warning across the southwest through this evening and into tomorrow. Plenty of rain there already, so the ground is pretty saturated. A few more showers across Northern Ireland, and that more persistent rain across Scotland will continue. A lot of that rain across those higher hills is turning towards snow as we go through this evening, and the winds are still remaining pretty strong across that eastern coast as well. Now, like I said, this rain will continue to move its way northwards. Places like Devon, Cornwall, Dorset have already seen over 200 millimetres across the course of January. So the ground is very saturated, and any rain that will fall will lead towards more flooding issues. But most places staying frost-free overnight. A lot of places staying around 3 or 4 degrees as we start Tuesday morning. Now, those rains towards the very far southwest will slowly start to ease through the morning, but otherwise a very damp start across the southern half of the UK. A little bit drier up towards the north, still clinging on to a lot of that cloud, but those winds again are picking up through the day, especially across that northeastern coast and those higher hills. But it will be a much fresher day to come. Temperatures up towards the north, highs of around 4 or 5 degrees.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
The Grammy Awards, they're happening as we speak. The very latest on those, we're going to be reporting on that right after the short break.
Bold. They are under no illusion. Ray. Are you a human trafficker? Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get us on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What I'm going to do now is they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates, 5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5. You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah. Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight.
On the unpredictable.
What did she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
The Grammy Awards, they have just finished in the past hour. Alex is here in the studio, Alex Davis, to tell us who won what, where and why. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning. Yeah, it was actually quite a good night for the Brits in the end. One young Olivia Dean, who did the song Man I Need, that topped the charts not too long ago. Don't know if you've heard of that one. She won Best Newcomer, which is one of the big 4 awards at the Grammys. You got Song of the Year, Record of the Year, Album of the Year, and New Artist. So we had representation in the big 4 with Olivia Dean. Billie Eilish won Song of the Year, Kendrick Lamar won Record of the Year, and one rapper called Bad Bunny won Album of the Year. Now, Bad Bunny is a Puerto Rican rapper who made history last night. He is the first ever artist to win Album of the Year for a purely Spanish foreign album.
Okay.
But of course, it wouldn't be an awards ceremony without a little bit of political grandstanding, and he had this to say.
Before I say thanks to God, I'm gonna say eyes out.
So that's protests against the ICE soldiers.
Yeah, but he's
in
doing
Minnesota
he's doing the Super Bowl halftime show next week as well, and that was announced in September. And people like Kristi Noem and a lot of people in the Trump administration didn't like the idea of having somebody critical of the Trump administration sing in Spanish at the halftime show, especially in today's political climate. But he wasn't alone. Billie Eilish, she went on stage and used an expletive before ICE. I'm sure you can imagine what that expletive might have been. A lot of ICE out pin badges, a lot of political, like I say, a lot of political grandstanding. Even, like I mentioned, Olivia Dean, our very own, she couldn't resist a little bit of a dig in the current climate as well during her speech, which I believe we can hear from now.
Jesus Christ, I never really imagined that I would be up here, let alone nominated, so thank you so much. I just want to say that an artist is really nothing without their team. Emily, my best friend, my manager, we've been doing this for 10 years. And I guess I want to say I'm up here as a granddaughter of an immigrant. I wouldn't be here. Yeah, I'm a product of bravery, and I think those people deserve to be celebrated.
She's a Londoner. What is she talking about ICE for?
Yeah, it's one of those ones. I'm by no means any expert in geopolitical things, but I've worked in entertainment enough to know people watching these shows do not want this anymore. They just want the celebration of music, and they just want to know what has done well. And has their favourite artist won? Has their favourite song won? I don't personally understand the need to do this, because you straight away just polarise at least half of your audience.
Quite. I mean, bring back Ricky Gervais. I mean, actually annihilated the entire political speech stuff. It's like, get up there, say thank you, and politely go away.
Yeah, exactly. And the host, Trevor Noah, who's a South African comedian, he was doing this for the 6th and final time. And again, every other gag was about Trump, about how Trump wanted to buy Greenland because it was a substitute for Epstein's island, and all these sorts of gags. Yeah, and the people in the auditorium clapped along and laughed, as you'd expect. But it wasn't all just politics and negativity. There was actually some quite heartwarming moments with the Osbourne family in particular. Obviously, we lost Ozzy Osbourne this year, absolute rock legend, and rapper, not a rapper, he's more of like a rock star now, called Post Malone. He led a sort of ensemble of rock stars who sang Ozzy's, what was it called? War Pigs.
Oh, brilliant.
They did a brilliant rendition of that, and Kelly, Sharon and Jack were in the crowd, all in tears at the tribute, and it was just a lovely way to remember such an icon of the music scene.
Well, good to hear. Alex, thank you very much indeed. Appreciate that. That was the Grammys, which finished about an hour ago.
4 hours of it. 4 hours. How many of the people just turned up, sung, and then just went home saying thank you? How much of that was lectures, political lectures?
I think Paul Coytby lectured us on a great Spurs comeback. I'm going to be talking about that right after this. Don't go away.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the M74 southbound, the off-slip at Junction 6 for Hamilton is closed because of continuous essential roadworks, so allow extra time and follow diversion signs. In North Yorkshire, the M62 eastbound entry slip at Junction 34 is shut after a road traffic collision, with all lanes closed. Conditions should return to normal between 7:30 and 7:45 this morning. And on the trains, Great Western Railway is reporting disruption on some routes, while the Island Line has disruption between Ryde Pier Head and Shanklin. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
I'm Michelle Dewberry, this is Jubes & Co with you.
Hello everyone, Patrick Christie is here to GB News.
Britain's news channel.
Access the stories that matter to you. Take the GB News family with you on any device, and as long as you have an internet connection. Tune in to GB News anywhere on the planet or beyond. GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk
No,
now?
that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions. But every Friday night at 9 p.m, you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Here's Paul, I think rightfully heralding, triumphalising about Spurs' draw with Man City. They left it late, Paul.
They did leave it late. Well, they were 2-0 down. Man City were, 2-0 up, and they were cruising at half-time. And I'll be honest with you, I'm thinking, how many is this going to be? How bad is this going to be? And then Spurs came out, played much better in the second half. A scorpion kick by Dominic Solanke. He sort of like dived forward, back of his heel and scored. So it was great. And Spurs did much better in the second half. So Pep Guardiola, you wonder, don't you? And I was in the tunnel for the whole game. So I was standing there for the whole game, and I was watching him really close.
We saw you on telly.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we saw you on telly. Yeah, the husband goes, oh, that's Clytie.
But I always get told off my son because he goes, you always lean. I'm a leaner. And he's like, oh, God, Dad, you're leaning again. So anyway, so Pep was there, and oh, my goodness me, you get, as soon as their goal, Spurs goal, and he thought it should have been disallowed, the first one, goes running up to the fourth ref or the assistant, and he's screaming and shit, and it's like, oh my God, I was just like watching this guy, absolutely incandescent with rage. So talk about still have that passion. You think of all the money he's earned, all the trophies, but it's still there. So anyway, they're 6 points behind Arsenal.
Yes, I was going to say that may not still be there, being the Premier League, but you still think they're still in with a shout?
I don't know. I don't know so much now. I'm now thinking Arsenal, they won, they scored 4, didn't they, at Leeds, and Man City just don't seem to... I think it's Arsenal's to lose. I think we know that. It's Arsenal's to lose. What about your lot? You're going to be happy with that, 3-2?
Yeah, quite top 4, and the idea that, a third win in a row for Michael Carrick, but not as emphatic as the City and Arsenal wins, it has to be said. But they all count. They all count.
And also, it's that scoring late. This is the old thing that United did. And I'm going to, when people go, oh, Fergie time, a little extra, it doesn't matter. Great teams will score late and they will keep at it and keep going.
Spectacular goal from Sesko as well.
Absolutely. And Michael Carrick, see, this is what's going to happen now, is that it's going to be like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer from a few years ago. does he get the gig? Is he going to be the permanent manager now? What do you think?
Well, I'm of the opinion if you win, that is the important thing.
It is the important
thing. And so if the guy kept on winning, I would give him the job. Why substitute him with Pochettino or something?
Why would you? I agree. Why would you?
Yeah.
If things are going well, he's now record of 3 on the trot. That's better than Ruben Amorim ever did while he was there, and already he's done that in his first 3 games. So whether it's just a matter, and sometimes the thing with management, and Harry Redknapp would always say that, and he was always perfect for this, is that you go into a club that's not doing well and say, boys, just show me what you can do. Forget all the nonsense that went before, and they play with a freedom and look better, and Manchester United really are looking better. So, so very good. Very late goal, but well done to them. Carlos Alcaraz, by the way, I just want to mention him, won the Australian Open, so he's now the youngest tennis player ever to complete that Grand Slam of all 4 titles. Carlos, 22 years, 270 days. Don Budge did it in 1938 at the age of 22, but he was days behind. Then you got Rod Laver at 24, Rafa Nadal was 24, Fred Perry 26, Federer was 27 when he did it, Djokovic was 29 when he did it, Agassi was 29, and I was 32 when I did it. So but there we are, Alcaraz, they're winning the Australian Open, and what a player he is.
And they want women next year, or do women want this, 5 sets for women?
Well, see, is it a problem? Shouldn't it be? Because the way... I mean, surely it's the only sport now where women would do less. The pay is exactly the same. I mean, Dawn, what do you think?
I don't...
These are really fit people.
You're
These
playing
are
another
proper
woman,
athletes.
so I don't see why. I mean, I don't really do tennis, as you know, but, I mean, I don't see why not, to be honest.
Well, they're talking about it from probably the quarterfinals onwards, because the semi-finals and the final, they're just all so short. But also there's the other argument, whereas these days, is tennis too long anyway? Have people got the attention span to be watching games for 4, 5 hours?
Longer than Fergie time.
I think so. Yes. Finally, I've got one more for you. We've got time for this, or do you want to hold it for another hour?
Hold it, please, if you don't mind.
Hold it for you.
And we're going to come back and talk about nuggets.
Yes,
chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets and Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Yeah,
Do that at
okay.
7:30.
Good lad.
Keep us in suspense.
Thanks, Paul. Thank you very much indeed. We're back with the newspapers right after this. Please don't go away.
This year, the adventure of a lifetime could be on us. Courtesy of Riviera Travel, there's a terrific £10,000 holiday for 2 to be won. You could be here exploring the magic of Egypt on a Nile River cruise. Or choose from over 30 worldwide destinations like Thailand, South Africa, New Zealand or even Sri Lanka. And because they have over 40 years experience with handcrafted tours, you'll be safe in the knowledge that every step of the journey will be planned with you in mind. We'll also boost your bank account with a fabulous £30,000 in tax-free cash, which you'll be able to spend however you like this year. So what are you waiting for?
For a chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus 1 standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB19 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 27th of February. The winner may be contacted live after all entry routes have closed. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Up next, a new government report is called The Great British Countryside Too White. Find out more with Mike Parry and Scarlett Maguire next. Back after this.
Ready to soak up that holiday sunshine?
Won't we need some cover?
No worries. All sorted.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
The current unsettled weather is extending to many other areas of Europe as well, particularly parts of Portugal and southern Spain, seeing some very persistent rain at the moment, some localised flooding around here. Showers that are pushing across the continent are also bringing mountain snow over the Alps, but whilst eastern areas of the Mediterranean get a brief respite on Tuesday, we are expecting further thunderstorms and heavy showers to move through here later on in the week, so still rather wet for many.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
Oh, a bit like Captain Mannering then.
Yeah, exactly.
Year after the war. But no, seriously, you was in the paratroop regiment for 17 years. I think it was, and an officer as well.
I was, yeah.
What made you go into paras?
It's quite a long story, but I was at university. I joined the TA, the Territorials, or the Officer Training Corps, and there was 2 para fellas there, and I had no plans to join the army. And they were an epitome of what the paras are all about. And I'd said, well, I'll go down and see what it's like.
What are they all about, the paras?
Well, they do what they say on the tin. They're hard charging.
Yeah.
If you're going to jump out that door, you want someone with a bit of bravery and...
well, one of my neighbours is he wasn't a para. Rick, if you're watching, I'm sure you are, it's Friday night, Rick Portas. I think he was in 2 para. He's a bit
the name rings a bell, actually.
Yeah, he rings a bell. He's a bit of a wiry character, but you wouldn't want to mess with him.
Well, quite, but I mean, they've also got massive hearts.
Yeah.
So they're, but they've got their values and don't stamp on their values.
What about the training then? I suppose when you make that first jump, I mean, I cannot imagine jumping out of an aeroplane. Well, I mean, you've got to be nuts to do that, haven't you?
You've got to be completely nuts. Unlike sport parachuting, the lowest height, the highest height, I should say, is 800 feet. The parachute is designed to jump out at 200 feet. And at that level, if something goes wrong, you ain't got time to react. You jump at night, 9 times out of 10. You've got 80 other people plus in the same airspace as you. And you're carrying £100 worth of equipment. So if something goes wrong, you've got no control of your parachute, so you just got to accept that landing, or if you bump into somebody in the airspace, you've got problems.
Have you done that before?
Bump into someone?
Yeah,
I did it when I jumped into the Ukraine.
GB News, the People's Channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Oh, so much to talk about today in the papers and beyond. Mike Parry, Scarlett Maguire. Very good to have you two here. And let's talk about Peter Mandelson in his underwear over the front pages of the papers today. This Epstein situation, is there any end to this? This is there's what millions of pages now released on this.
Oh, I think people are starting to get a bit sick of it. It's 3 million pages additionally released over the weekend. Peter Mandelson was mentioned 6,000 times, or there was a picture of him within 6,000 times within those pages, revolting pictures of Lord Mandelson in his underwear. I think the only way that we're going to protect ourselves as a country to this is the King must now banish Prince Andrew from this country, because this could still be only the tip of the iceberg of what Andrew's been up to. And I would take up the offer from the Middle East to house Andrew in a £10 million villa in the UAE or Dubai and get him out of this country, because I honestly believe he could bring the monarchy down in this country as revelation after revelation makes him look more seedy.
And lie after lie.
And lie after lie.
You know, saying that he didn't meet Edelstein and things weren't going on and whatever. And then these pictures, that's Mandelson in his underwear. We don't need to see any more of that.
Which is something that none of us are going to be able to.
No, but it's not even the most graphic picture. We haven't got the best picture. Get rid of that picture. I'm not interested in that. Yeah. So what there is Prince Andrew on all fours you know...
Kneeling over a woman and...
What on earth's that about?
But Mike, what you say about bashing, I mean, why didn't they do something a very long time ago? I mean...
Because nobody knew about it a very long time ago.
We did.
Well, the establishment might have, but the general public didn't.
We did. Come on. When was the Emily Maitlis interview? It was years and years ago, right? And before that...
This goes back way before the Emily Maitlis interview.
I'm just agreeing with you.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is why did she do the interview? Because we knew that Andrew and Epstein... and so they knew, right? And they don't do anything. That's the problem is they don't do anything. It's too late. Even if he was banished to Dubai, the stories are still coming out about what and how much they knew.
I agree. They fly a woman into London for Andrew, she stays at Great Windsor Lodge, and her reward the next day is a cup of tea and a sandwich at Buckingham Palace. I mean, the details are so horrendous. He's got to go. He's got to be stripped of every last title related to the royal family. The King's got to be brutal and say, you are banished. You go, and you never darken the door of this country again.
Yeah, my beef with this one, Scarlett, is not so much about Andrew. I mean, yeah, sleazy, whatever. It's about Peter Mandelson. He was in government at the time. Was he receiving money from, at the time, a convicted paedophile to influence how the British government was behaving?
No, I mean, it's disgraceful because it looks as though what he was doing was that they were trying to remove bankers' bonuses.
Yeah, absolutely right.
And he was there because Jeffrey Epstein wanted him. I mean, that is corruption.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
That is... to be fair, I don't think anybody knew at the time about what he was doing.
Yeah.
But there is no question he shouldn't just be leaving the Labour Party, he should be leaving the House of Lords. Yeah. He is over, right?
I don't think he'll ever go back to the House of Lords.
No.
From what I can put together now, he won't be welcome ever again at the House of Lords.
No.
And you're absolutely right. He's getting payments of $25,000 and then officially trying to advise the government to curtail the payments on bankers' bonuses, most of whom, of course, were American, working in London, and it was Jeffrey Epstein who was advising. I mean,
we just don't know the half of it.
And you're right, Eamonn, we don't know the half of it because there's so much.
Yeah.
And actually, you were saying, are we bored of it? Actually, what's coming out now? I mean, what we didn't know was about the corruption, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that there are lots of Americans that we've never heard of, that it's all going on there, saying what these people were doing.
Yeah.
Because one is always saying, where did Epstein get his money from?
Well, nobody knows. Nobody.
And how much? Yeah. How much was he? What was he doing for the Russians? Because an awful lot of photographs were taken, compromising photographs that we are now seeing.
Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree.
So can we move on and talk about diversity in the countryside? Yeah. Making the countryside less white. There's a report published today, an advisory report that various strategies to attract more ethnic minorities to reflect a multicultural nation.
Isn't this social engineering? Isn't it social engineering gone mad? They've said that the problem is country pubs are very attractive to white people, but not to coloured people. Well, that's what a country pub is. It caters for the community that live around it, doesn't it? So the menu and the drinks represent what all that is. I just don't get this. I mean, if people in this country can't accept that Gloucestershire, which is the Cotswolds, which is cited in this report, is not Alabama or Mississippi, so why do you have to start making provisions for people who live in places like Alabama and Mississippi in Gloucestershire? I don't get it. It's social engineering, the worst sort.
The thing is with this story, Scarlett, I don't know a single black person or Asian person. I live in Tower Hamlets. I mean, it's like, lots of people from different diversities. They don't care. They've never said to them, never had a conversation with anyone going, I really want to go to the Cotswolds, but I feel like I can't because I'm black.
Yeah,
actually, I have quite a long time ago. A very rich. She was Hindu, and said she felt uncomfortable in places like that. I mean, I do think that it's... But I mean, what we have to remember is that this whole thing was begun by a Tory government saying we've got a problem. Actually it's a lot about the national parks and getting people out there and making national parks for everybody. And one of the problems is dogs. And actually, this isn't just about the fact that a lot of Muslims find dogs very difficult. It is about people who do not know how to control their dogs.
Why do Muslims find dogs difficult?
Because a lot of they don't have dogs as pets. They have dogs as
But that shouldn't stop other people taking their dogs to the country, because there are some people there who don't like their dogs.
There are a lot of, as we know, and
hold that thought, guys.
There are a lot of very badly behaved
out of
dogs.
time.
See you next hour. We've got to take a break for the weather.
Your say on this.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning and welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. As the first week of February begins, the weather is still going to be very similar to what we saw in January. Many grey skies around, and there will be some more outbreaks of rain to come. Now, it was a chilly start, especially across Northern Ireland this morning. We had some icy patches here, but now things are starting to cloud over through this morning. We will see a few outbreaks of some showers across central England and Wales, and a bit more persistent rain across eastern Scotland as well. Winds here are pretty strong. We could see some gale force winds up towards those Northern Isles. Temperatures-wise, around what we would expect for the beginning of February, between sort of 6 and 9 degrees across the country. Now, this rain band across the south coming across the Channel, that is going to move its way northwards. So we do have another rain warning across the southwest through this evening and into tomorrow. Plenty of rain there already, so the ground is pretty saturated. A few more showers across Northern Ireland, and more persistent rain across Scotland will continue. A lot of that rain across those higher hills is turning towards snow as we go through this evening, and the winds are still remaining pretty strong across that eastern coast as well. Now, like I said, this rain will continue to move its way northwards. Places like Devon, Cornwall, Dorset have already seen over 200 millimetres across the course of January. So the ground is very saturated, and any rain that will fall will lead towards more flooding issues. But most places staying frost-free overnight. A lot of places staying around 3 or 4 degrees as we start Tuesday morning. Now, those rains towards the very far southwest will slowly start to ease through the morning, but otherwise a very damp start across the southern half of the UK. A little bit drier up towards the north, still clinging on to a lot of that cloud, but those winds again are picking up through the day, especially across that northeastern coast and those higher hills. But it will be a much fresher day to come. Temperatures up towards the north, highs of around 4 or 5 degrees.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you for making us Britain's #1 news channel. Together, we have built something truly extraordinary.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the M74 southbound, the junction 6 off slip towards Hamilton is closed for continuous roadworks. In North Yorkshire, the M62 eastbound entry slip at junction 34 is shut after a road traffic collision, with all lanes closed. Conditions should improve after 8:30 this morning. In Hertfordshire, the M25 anti-clockwise between junction 25 and junction 24 has an incident with one of 4 lanes closed, and delays are likely until after 7:30 this morning. And on the trains, Great Western Railway has disruption on some routes, and the Island Line is disrupted between Rydpier Head and Shanklin. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
This year, the adventure of a lifetime could be on us. Courtesy of Riviera Travel, there's a terrific £10,000 holiday for 2 to be won. Choose from over 30 worldwide destinations like Thailand, South Africa, New Zealand or even Sri Lanka. We'll also boost your bank account with a fabulous £30,000 in tax-free cash.
For a chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB19 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 27th of February. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Do you trust what you're being told? Good, because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
Needs to stop. You think we can allow?
Politics, policy, parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Good morning. Peter Mandelson quits the Labour Party.
After the latest batch of Epstein files appeared to reveal payments sent by the convicted paedophile to the former American ambassador.
So we're asking, is it only a matter of time until he resigns from the House of Lords?
Is your money dirty money? If you live, I just ask a question. Is your money dirty money? Do you think you're the devil himself?
Plus, even more bombshell revelations emerged from the Epstein files. Stay tuned for the details, which we will bring to you.
And in a GB News exclusive, we'll be talking to the mother of Riannon White, whose illegal immigrant killer was sentenced to at least 29 years in prison on Friday. You really don't want to miss her incredibly powerful, moving message that she's going to deliver to the government live on this show.
That's at 8:20. The government draws up plans to engineer more diversity in the countryside after a report criticised places like the Cotswolds for being too white.
Meanwhile, British talent win big at the Grammy Awards.
I never really imagined that I would be up here, let alone nominated, so thank you so much.
Well, that was Olivia Dean, Londoner, taking home the award for Best New Artist, and there's no shortage of political speeches there as well.
And as 1 in 5 Brits consider ending a relationship over a pay gap, we're debating, is this sensible or shallow? Don't miss that at 7:20.
And sport this morning, Manchester City throw away a 2-goal lead for the first time in 8 years to draw 2-2 at Spurs. Manchester United scoring Fergie time to win their 3rd game on the bounce. And a little tip for boxers, never go into a big fight wearing a toupee.
Now, as we start the new month of February, will the weather change compared to January? Join me for all the latest later.
Hello there, very good morning to you, whoever you're watching, whoever you're listening, wherever you're listening from, and wherever you're watching from. I'm Eamonn Holmes.
And I'm Dawn Neeson, and this is GB News Breakfast, and a very good morning to you all.
We're just looking forward to the sport, Paul, this morning, not only for all the usual results and things you bring us, but this boxer who wore the wig wore his toupee on top.
It's like that. All of a sudden he's got hit and nothing's going.
Why would you do that? I mean, who on earth thought this is a really good idea?
There is a story behind it, which I will tell you the whole sordid tale in about 20 minutes' time. But yeah, there's method behind the madness, although probably it's the madness that ended up winning out.
Actually, if we got you sitting in exactly the right position, the picture behind you would look like your head with your
That would be nice, yeah. I think that would look great, wouldn't it? Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, the guy... But the thing is, if you're fighting him, and then you see the hair... I mean, it would throw you, wouldn't it? Because if you were Millie, you'd think the hair's gone that way and he's gone like that and smacked him.
Maybe it was a cunning plan.
Hair raising.
It really is.
I'm saying, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we'll get to the bald truth about that story later on.
Oh, no punch now, come on.
Oh, come on.
No,
come
we're not
on,
doing
let
that.
me get that one in, please.
Nope.
Now, also, something I want to bring to your attention was on Saturday morning, there's a little place called Richmond, very nice place in Surrey, very quiet, very, very nice place to go and shop and whatever. But this was Richmond, 10:30 on Saturday morning, right? So this guy takes a sledgehammer to the local jeweller's window, and it's a sort of reinforced window, but that doesn't stop him. No, he rips it off there, and he's got an accomplice. There's two of them, and between them, and these are people at a cafe just across the lane in Richmond. Remember, this is 10:30 a.m. We're talking about here. People, you know, waking up out and about, early shopping and whatever, and then the owner of the jewellery shop, which is very brave of him, he begins to interfere and he hits one of the guys on the head, and then he starts saving his own stock and whatever. But these guys don't care; they just take off.
The actual nerve of them. I mean, it's broad daylight, Sunday morning, people walking their dogs, having their morning coffee, very well-to-do part of town. And it's like, and everyone's just standing there looking and going, what the hell is going on?
But what would you do? What would you do? See, the thing is, you see people breaking in. What are you going to do? You're going to go out there and think, I'll tackle them. You could get killed. So everybody just stands back and watches, and nobody can do anything.
Could you just put that sledgehammer down?
Please. It is Richmond after all. Please, if you put the sledgehammer down.
You know what I'd do? I would film it and I'd send it to Sadiq Khan and say, well, how are those crime figures going, Sadiq Khan, Sunday morning in Richmond?
And, I mean, you've seen them, I think it was a Rolex outlet in London last week. There was a hijack there as well. Absolutely incredible. There's no fear from these people. And the police, what are they saying? Well, in Richmond, they said this. Officers responded to an aggravated burglary. You can say that, OK. In Paved Court, Richmond, around 10:30 a.m. on Saturday. No injuries were reported. We're working to identify and arrest those responsible. Well, no injuries. It's not just a question of injuries. I mean, there was criminal damage. There was theft.
Well, the guy that nicked it, probably the people that broke in, they probably might have cut themselves on the glass as they were stealing the Rolex. They've probably got a claim now against the jewellers.
Yeah, but they're suing the shopkeeper.
Right, OK, just a flavour of some of the stories we've got coming your way today. Breaking news overnight. Tell us more, Dawn.
Yeah, Lord Mandelson has resigned his membership of the Labour Party. In a statement, the former US ambassador said he wanted to avoid further embarrassment to the party over his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
All of this is after the latest tranche of Epstein files suggesting Mandelson received $75,000 in separate payments from Epstein. This was in the year 2003 and 2004.
As joining us now is former Conservative advisor Lauren McKevitt. Lauren, this isn't good for Mandelson. I mean, he's already been forced to resign, sacked basically from Parliament twice. This is the third time.
Yes, well, and it's the fourth time if you include having to resign from being an ambassador as separate to having to resign from the Labour Party itself. And I don't know what's going to happen to him in the House of Lords. I don't know if this reaches the threshold for the Lords to throw him out. Or whether or not he resigns from the Lords on his own, but, you know, I think you'll be dragging him out of there by his fingernails, to be perfectly honest. It's long been time for Mandelson to exit stage left. He's being kept on, and he's had his resurrection because of Morgan McSweeney, the Chief of Staff in Number 10, who is, I think, one of his former employees. And he's embarrassed the Labour Party. He seems to be incapable of embarrassing himself after all these years because he's done it so many times. And he's definitely embarrassed the country. But I think it also, all these emails, they show a level of engagement that someone like Jeffrey Epstein was allowed to have with Peter Mandelson for years while he was in government, looks like while he was in Europe, over and above the normal engagement that an organisation like a bank would have with the Treasury on something like the bankers' bonuses, as an example. You know, you had private lobbying from Jeffrey Epstein, which he then took and appeared to be lobbying for privately within the government. Now, there were and remain genuine concerns about whether or not the bankers' bonus taxation system was a good thing to introduce. It has probably seen the property market in London skyrocket over the intervening 10, 20 years as a result, because, of course, you can now get a mortgage
on the basis of a much higher basic salary than you had previously. A bonus didn't make you mortgageable, but a basic salary does. I know someone in the city from the early 2000s, his successor makes 9 times now what he made. There are legitimate arguments against the banker's bonus system, the taxation system that came in for it. But Jeffrey Epstein, who by this point I think had already been to prison or at least been convicted,
yes, he had, yeah,
was lobbying directly to the government via Peter Mandelson. And at no point in the last 20-odd years before his death, when this man was clearly unsavoury, when things were known to be dodgy about him, did Peter Mandelson look at this scenario and go, this is not somebody that I should be involved with?
And the thing is, it was public information that he was involved with Epstein after he had been sent to prison. Indeed, Mandelson stayed at Epstein's flat in Manhattan. Now, it was in the public domain, right? We all knew that. Therefore, you would assume someone with a forensic brain, like a barrister, former human rights lawyer like Keir Starmer, would have been aware of it. So why would you give him the job as ambassador to America when all of this was out there? He knew it.
That seems that's the most boggling bit to me, because there was an enormous upset caused in the Foreign Office when a political appointment was made to the US ambassadorship, throwing out a career diplomat who had been given the job and then was told he wasn't going to get the job. This is I think it was Tim Robbins from the Foreign Office. The politicisation of the Foreign Office is not something that's supposed to happen. We don't have political appointments for the most part. We've had 2, George Hollingbury in Cuba and Ed Llewellyn, who remains within the Foreign Office and has just left the Italian embassy, but both of whom became neutral when they went into the back into the Foreign Office. Peter Mandelson was a sort of an overtly political appointment to the United States because Keir Starmer felt that he needed a political entity in the US to represent Britain's interests and represent the Labour Party and government's interests, because Donald Trump and his team would not be as comfortable with a Labour administration in London as they perhaps had been with a Conservative one. But that doesn't mean that you put someone who is this disgraced this continually in that role.
Yeah,
and the driving force.
I'm just looking at reaction coming in, Lauren, and Sharon has said, well, Andrew had his titles removed. Mandelson should have his lordship removed. Is that possible?
Well, this is it. I don't know if he's actually reached the threshold for the House mechanisms to kick in to throw him out, because he isn't actually in all of this quite yet being accused or convicted by law enforcement or the judicial system of wrongdoing himself. He had massively bad judgment in hanging out with someone as rotten as Jeffrey Epstein for that many years. It's caused massive embarrassment to the Labour Party and massive embarrassment to the country. But has he actually broken the law anywhere? That's questionable. Now, the threshold for throwing out a lifetime peer in the House of Lords is, I think, quite high, which means he'd probably have to resign from the Lords under his own steam, and it doesn't look like he wants to do that. No. It also should be stressed that after the reporting in the FT over the weekend about these alleged financial links to Jeffrey Epstein, that Peter Mandelson is fairly vociferously saying that he did not take money from him, and that he doesn't own property in Brazil with his husband, and so he is. If it looks like he's going to fight those allegations through the courts, or then there is an element of, okay, you've got terrible judgment, but you haven't broken the law.
My curiosity, you talk about terrible judgment, is what was this all about? This Love Island that Epstein had, and flying people there and whatever. What was the game here? Would I have gone along? And with the three of us, would I know? Well, I know what Lauren's here for. I know what Dawn's here for. I know what Eamonn's here for. Do you say, is things out open, or does everybody deny? Everybody says, oh, we're just here for a nice foot massage or whatever it happens to be. What was the game? What was going on? And did they all know about it?
This is one of the stories that's perplexed me for years, is how this man, who was clearly, incredibly good at smarming his way into people's lives, so the lives of the rich and famous, the lives of the powerful, how did he have so much power over people? These emails that have come out, they don't appear to be blackmailing people. He's not using negative influence to keep them in his circle. It's all positive. These are emails between friends. So is it just a group of people who felt that they could be involved with someone who was very clearly committing horrible crimes with no repercussions because they were above the law or beyond the law, or they felt that they were too important for it to hit them. It shows such poor judgment for so many people around the world, so many people in power around the world, so many people of influence around the world, and it's legitimately inexplicable to me.
I think you actually hit the nail on the head there. I think that they think they're above it. They are so entitled and so privileged. They don't think they should play by the same rules as the rest of us. Literally everybody in these files is a very rich, very powerful, very influential man. So, and I think they genuinely think the rules do not apply to them and they can do whatever they want, and if that means using and abusing women. Some of them were only 13 years old, let's not forget.
Yeah.
But it's not even the guys who were actively involved in the illegalities that were going on these islands. It's everybody who isn't alleged to have participated in that element, who remained friends with someone who had this reputation years before he was convicted.
Yes.
That's the weird bit, is why hang out with somebody like that?
Why?
And that's why...
They have money, they have influence in their own right. They don't have to hang
But it's
around
part of the
with him.
problem that we have with, frankly, sexual crimes. A lot of men around the world, a lot of men in all positions, powerful and not, will have that one friend where they're like, yeah, well, he's not, you don't want him around your sister. More men need to intervene about men like that.
Quite.
And it's right the way from the top to the bottom of society.
Yeah.
Sad. Lauren, thank you.
Very much,
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you very much indeed. And thanks to everybody who's had their say on this. Big interview we have for you at 8:20 this morning concerns the murder of Riannon White. Just to remind you, and you will know as soon as we say this, Riannon was 27-year-old hotel worker and a mother. She was stabbed to death by this illegal immigrant from Sudan. He followed her to a train station. This was in October 2024.
Yeah, he'd been in the country for just 3 months, and he was jailed on Friday for a life term with a minimum of 29 years.
So Riannon's mother, Siobhan, will be in the studio live here at 8:20, and we hope you can stay around for that.
Please do. It'd be very strong.
Yeah, and listen to what she's having to say during her grief. It's one of the most shocking murder cases in recent memory.
Yeah.
Just a reminder, here it is.
The vicious murder of a young mother waiting for her train home. Her attacker, an asylum seeker who laughed and danced after stabbing her. Riannon White died 3 days later from a brainstem injury. She had been working cleaning and serving food at the Park Inn Hotel, where her killer, Den Majek, a Sudanese small boat migrant, was staying. On the 20th of October 2024, CCTV showed Majek staring at Riannon while she handed out snacks. A witness later told Wolverhampton Crown Court they felt scared and believed that he was going to do something that night. Staff reported feeling intimidated and informed hotel security. After Riannon finished her shift at 11 p.m, she walked across the road to Mascot train station. Unbeknown to her, Majek waited in the car park and followed her. CCTV shows him walking up the steps behind her. Seconds later, he attacked her on the platform. She suffered multiple stab wounds and died 3 days later from a brainstem injury. CCTV later showed Majek leaving the station, throwing her phone into a river, buying alcohol and returning to the hotel as the emergency services arrived. Police recovered footage of him laughing and dancing. Prosecutors said he was clearly excited by what he had done.
In regard to all the matters to which I have referred, I set that minimum term at 29 years. From this must be deducted the 466 days you have spent on remand in custody. This means that the minimum term you will serve before you can be considered for release is 27 years and 264 days. Yes, please take him.
Riannon's family described their loss as catastrophic. She was a mother, a sister, an aunt and a daughter whose life was taken in the most horrific way. Sophia Hill, GB News.
Very sad. And Riannon's mother live with us, 8:20.
Yes, indeed. And at the moment, it is coming up to 18 minutes past 7, so it's time for a quick weather update with Liam.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning and welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. As the first week of February begins, the weather is still going to be very similar to what we saw in January. Many grey skies around and there will be some more outbreaks of rain to come. Now, it was a chilly start, especially across Northern Ireland this morning. We had some icy patches here, but now things are starting to cloud over through this morning. We will see a few outbreaks of some showers across central England and Wales and a bit more persistent rain across eastern Scotland as well. Winds here are pretty strong. We could see some gale force winds up towards those Northern Isles. Temperatures-wise, around what we would expect for the beginning of February, between sort of 6 and 9 degrees across the country. Now, this rain band across the south coming across the Channel, that is going to move its way northwards. So we do have another rain warning across the southwest through this evening and into tomorrow. Plenty of rain there already, so the ground is pretty saturated. A few more showers across Northern Ireland and that more persistent rain across Scotland will continue. A lot of that rain across those higher hills is turning towards snow as we go through this evening, and the winds are still remaining pretty strong across that eastern coast as well. Now, like I said, this rain will continue to move its way northwards. Places like Devon, Cornwall, Dorset have already seen over 200 millimetres across the course of January. So the ground is very saturated and any rain that will fall will lead towards more flooding issues. But most places staying frost-free overnight. A lot of places staying around 3 or 4 degrees as we start Tuesday morning. Now, those rains towards the very far southwest will slowly start to ease through the morning, but otherwise a very damp start across the southern half of the UK. A little bit drier up towards the north, still clinging on to a lot of that cloud, but those winds again are picking up through the day, especially across that northeastern coast and those higher hills, but it will be a much fresher day to come. Temperatures up towards the north, highs of around 4 or 5 degrees.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
OK, I just want to read, you'll get loads of messages coming in this morning, certainly about the awful story of Riannon White. I just want to read one message out before we move on from Ange. Ange says, when I tuned in earlier this morning, Daubney and Eamonn were discussing the sentencing of the illegal piece of filth who brutally took the life of a young mum. Later this morning, there's going to be the interview with the mum of the victim. There is indeed at 20 minutes past 8. And Ange says, I know I will shed some tears about this. The government have blood on their hands. Letting illegals enter this country and in some cases known criminals welcome to our country. Yet another child is growing up without a mum. And I could not put it better myself. Riannon has a 5-year-old son who asks where his mummy is. It's incredibly, incredibly sad. OK.
Up next, is it shallow to end a relationship just over the amount of money you or your partner are paid?
Yeah, and if the husband's watching, no, of course it isn't, darling. This is GB News Breakfast with Eamonn and Dawn. We'll see you soon.
Bold.
They are under no illusion.
Ray, are you a human trafficker? Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get us on a BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What I'm going to do now, they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
No,
because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff.
Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood.
So join me on Dubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
5 hosts,
5 opinions, 5 fearless debates,
5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5.
You got me. You got me good there.
Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand. Yeah.
Uncensored.
Very, very racist tonight on the unpredictable.
What does she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Cates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Okay, so here's the big question of the morning. So if you have a partner and that partner earns more money than you do, would you end a relationship over someone's ability to earn more than you? It appears that 1 in 5 people, 20%, would.
Yeah, but what do you think? We're debating this now. Is it slightly shallow? Sorry, I do find it slightly shallow if you want my opinion. Anyway, joining us now is dating expert Nadia Essex and entertainment journalist Sarah Louise Robertson to have a chat about this one. Nadia, let's come to you first. So, if you shallow to end a relationship over your salary?
Stupid.
Well, yes. In an ideal world, yes, it seems shallow and it could be seem to be shallow, but fundamentally, a third of couples cite financial problems in divorce proceedings. Money is a huge issue for people, and I myself have had it in the past. I dated someone that wasn't earning as much money as me, and it caused all sorts of problems in the relationship. On date night, I wanted to go to Nobu and he wanted to go to Nando's, and there's nothing wrong with Nando's, but every single date night it gets a bit tedious. So I was constantly sacrificing and making myself smaller to be able to accommodate his ego and his feelings.
But was he doing that over? Was he doing that over money, or was he doing that over? He just preferred Nando's over Nobu.
It was definitely money. I mean, Nobu's fabulous. Who doesn't like a bit of sushi?
Other sushi restaurants are available. Sarah, I just think that if a relationship is going somewhere and you genuinely have feelings for one another, then you know if you cut your cloth accordingly. If all you can do as a combined couple is go to Nando, work on it. When you've got more money together, you go as a couple to a very posh sushi restaurant.
Exactly, Dawn, you're correct. It is shallow to break up with someone over money. If you're genuinely in love with that person, their finances shouldn't come into it. I think where this argument comes down to is whether you're financially compatible in terms of your shared values. Is your partner a saver like you, or is he a spender like you? And that's what it comes down to. But if you're on the same path and you both like to save money and you're realistic about what you can afford, which, let's face it, with the amount of people that are getting into debt, a lot of people aren't. And so you see these people who want to lead like a Nobu lifestyle on lemonade wages. So I think it's about having realism with finances in relationships. But to break up with someone because they're earning significantly less than you or more than you, I think is very, very shallow. And that points to your own values and that they're actually not very nice if you're prioritising money over love and compatibility in other areas.
Yeah. So Sarah Louise, the half of people believe that money is too private to discuss, and 23% avoid such conversations out of fear of judgment and criticism. So I go back and I think it's the way we're taught or not taught in schools to appreciate money and to understand it makes the world go around.
Well, of course it does, yes. You know, that and sex. I've said it on air at this time in the morning. But they are the two sort of fundamental driving parts of the human condition, aren't they? And I think what we've seen recently is with this rise of influencers on Instagram and social media, there's this idea of this keeping up with the Joneses lifestyle. And it's put an enormous pressure on young couples who are feeling like they need to have it all, to be seen to be having it all, to be going on lavish holidays, to be driving the best car, to be wearing designer clothes or carrying the latest designer handbag. And it is really shallow that you're prioritizing your opinion of someone or your values of your own self-worth over gadgets or materialistic possessions. I think this is what this comes down to. And actually, it's not really about whether you're with the person for the right reason. And it's a real shame that we've lost what is important. And I think that's just endemic of what's going on in society as a whole.
Nadia, I mean, Sarah Louise has got a point there about social media and keeping up with the Beckhams, if you like, the rich couple in the papers at the very moment.
Yeah, and social media has a lot to answer for, but I think it goes a lot deeper than that. Like I said, from my own personal experience, it wasn't the fact that I was a bad person because I prioritised money. It was the fact that I got fed up of having to shrink myself in a relationship to be able to be compatible, because I had the money to go on holiday. I had the money to be able to buy nice things. I had the money to have the freedom to do what I wanted, and my partner didn't. And that doesn't make me a bad person. It just means that you're right, we weren't compatible at that particular time.
But you could have treated him, Nadia. You could have treated him. I mean, I'm sure if the shoe was on the other foot, you would expect him to treat you.
But this is my point. I did treat him, but when you usually when you treat a man, I took him away to Ibiza for his birthday. And, you know, when you treat a man, they feel emasculated. Because when you treat them one time, it's romantic. When you're treating them every Friday night to a meal, every time they want to buy new clothes, every time you want to go on holiday, you have to pay for them, it becomes emasculating. And it becomes a problem in the relationship that you then don't want to address, like we were saying before, but people don't want to address it, because it becomes the elephant in the room. You daren't say anything, shall we go here or shall we go there, because you know they can't afford it. And that causes tension.
Oh, well, I think unfortunately we've run out of time on that one. Nadia Essex and Sarah Louise Robertson, thank you very much. Maybe I'm thinking there's a generation thing here. Would you feel emasculated if I whisked you out to a posh sushi restaurant for a glass of champagne?
My habits were formed, I realised, totally by my father. And that was in days my mother didn't work, for instance, so he would have naturally paid, and men being the wage earners, mostly, they earned the money, and therefore he would have seen it as his role to naturally pay, and therefore I just copied that because I thought that's what a man did.
But you wouldn't feel emasculated if, say, a woman took you out for a meal or a glass of bubbly?
No, be nice, though.
Well, exactly. I mean, yeah, maybe it's a generational thing, because, I mean...
It might well be, yeah.
My husband never seems to complain, that's for sure. And it is his birthday coming up soon. OK, if you are short of a few bob, we've got a nice treat for you. It's time for a brand new giveaway and your chance to get summer sorted with a luxury £10,000 holiday for two. Or you can go on your own if you're having that money debate. And that's not all. We're also giving you a chance to win £30,000 in tax-free cash. Spend on anything you want. It's an incredible prize. And here's all the details.
This year, the adventure of a lifetime could be on us. Courtesy of Riviera Travel, there's a terrific £10,000 holiday for two to be won. You could be here exploring the magic of Egypt on a Nile River cruise. Or choose from over 30 worldwide destinations like Thailand, South Africa, New Zealand or even Sri Lanka. And because they have over 40 years experience with handcrafted tours, you'll be safe in the knowledge that every step of the journey will be planned with you in mind. We'll also boost your bank account with a fabulous £30,000 in tax-free cash, which you'll be able to spend however you like this year. So what are you waiting for?
For a chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB19, PO Box 8690, Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 27th of February. The winner may be contacted live after all entry routes have closed. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
We take a break. We're back with the sport. We've already talked about toupees in boxing. We're now going to talk about nuggets in football after this.
You know what? I'll tell you what it is. It's a small child who had their nuggets taken away at Wolverhampton Wanderers, and then were given back by the mascot. It's a lovely, moving story, and the toupee as well. Of course, don't forget the toupee.
Thank you for making us Britain's #1 news channel. Together, we have built something truly extraordinary.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the M74 southbound, the Junction 6 off Slip to Hamilton is closed due to planned maintenance activities. On the M25 anti-clockwise, between junctions 17 and 16 in Hertfordshire, a broken down vehicle is blocking 2 lanes, causing significant delays. We are also experiencing issues on the M6 southbound, between junction 23 and junction 22 near St Helens, where an incident has led to the closure of 1 lane. Additionally, on the trains, Great Western Railway is experiencing disruptions on some of its routes, and there are no trains running on the Island Line between Ryde Pier Head and Shanklin. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience, because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions, but every Friday night at 9 p.m. you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
Because
the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Dubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Do you trust what you're being told? Good, because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that, because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
We can allow.
Stop.
We can allow.
Politics, policy, parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Here's Paul. Here he is with the football rundown. First of all, a busy day yesterday.
Spurs drew with Manchester City yesterday.
Great result.
Surprised, yes.
From 2-0 down.
2-0 down, came back 2-2. That wasn't bad, especially the record they've had at Spurs. And also, so 6 points now that Man City are behind Arsenal. Are Arsenal just going to start moving away? Looks like it. What do you think, Dom?
Well, I mean, it's a bit like the bottom of the table, which I know a lot about.
I don't want to mention that for you.
It's like, you know,
don't mention the bottom of the table.
One team wins, another team wins, and it all goes in one way. It's like, you know, you need to start winning.
You've just summed up football quite beautifully over the last 100 years.
And the other, thank you very much for patronising me. How dare you? But no, it is like, you know, West Ham sort of like win and the others around them win, and we didn't win this weekend, and others did. So.
OK, well, there we go. You've done it again. They're very nice. Manchester United, Eamonn is happy. 3-2 against Fulham.
Win, yeah.
Third win on the bounce. Do you know the guy that we had on with the crazy hair?
Yeah.
4 wins on the bounce is that he was saying he'd get his hair cut. So it's been about a year and a half now.
But he's winning to 5, isn't
it?
Five,
is it 5? I thought it was 4. Oh, is it 5?
Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
And you know the next game? Spurs-Manchester United at the weekend.
Oh, God.
So maybe that will be the one for the hair. Talking of hair...
Oh, seamless link. He's good at this,
Thank you very much. Jarrell Miller, heavyweight boxer, was fighting Kingsley Ibe at Madison Square Garden on Saturday. Now, can we have a look at the picture? I think we've got a couple of pictures of this. Now, look, if you look at very carefully, and for those on the radio, he's 2 heavyweights, one being punched and one with a very strange hair which is sticking up. Now, it's a toupee that he decided to go into the ring wearing, which probably is not the most sensible thing, is it? Because let's face it, the chances you get punched in the head and it's going to come flying off. Anyway, it ripped off, it came off. So it was hanging on literally by a thread. He ended up pulling the thing off, throwing it into the audience, caught by a boxer called Sky Nicholson. I don't know if we've got a picture of Sky, there she is, look. That's her holding the hairpiece as it lands on her lap. And speaking afterwards, he said, I get to my mama's house, I saw some shampoo bottles on the table and I shampooed. It was like ammonium bleach. I literally lost my hair like 2 days ago, so I called my manager and said, get me one of those mains. I slapped it on real quick. And that was the hairpiece. I don't know how much of that story I believe.
I was going to say, yeah, I'm taking that with a pinch of salt, that one.
Really? So he put the hairpiece on and then it got knocked off, and where he's going to go from here, I have no idea. But it's fancy fighting in a wig.
It's going to be very distracting. You can't really concentrate, can you?
I mean, it would put the other guy... I mean, like, you see the thing flapping away, you'd go, do I hit the hairpiece? Do I hit the guy? What do I do?
But he looked well.
Before he did, yeah. Listen, a little bit of Wolverhampton Wanderers. This is nice. A little boy... Now, the first bit is very sad. This has happened a week or so ago at Wolverhampton Wanderers. So if you can see this, a little lad called Rory is in the stands. Now, look, see his dad takes the chicken nugget. And now look at Rory. My dad's eaten my last chicken nugget. Look at him, bless him. He's looked into the box. He's really upset and he's realised all these chicken nuggets have gone. And well done to Wolverhampton Wanderers who did this. And this was on their social media and I really love it. So there's their mascot, their Wolfie. And so the next game, which was on Saturday, Wolfie goes up with a box of chicken nuggets for Rory. His dad's happy because he's probably going to nick him again, but they gave him some goodies as well. So, you know what? It's nice to see that Rory's happy because everybody else at Wolverhampton Wanderers were miserable because lost the ball.
Yeah.
But a nice story.
I love that story.
Yes, I liked it too.
Oh, bless
Almost
him.
as
I like chicken nuggets. There we go. Still to come, Britain's benefits bill set to break a record. Find out what for next with Mike Parry and Scarlett Maguire, as well as the holiday sun. Here it is.
Can't wait to get in that sea.
Lovely and warm.
Just like the feeling of having great travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
The current unsettled weather is extending to many other areas of Europe as well, particularly parts of Portugal and southern Spain, seeing some very persistent rain at the moment, some localised flooding around here. Showers that are pushing across the continent are also bringing mountain snow over the Alps, but whilst eastern areas of the Mediterranean get a brief respite on Tuesday, we are expecting further thunderstorms and heavy showers to move through here later on in the week, so still rather wet for many.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Do you trust what you're being told? Good, because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that, because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
We can allow.
Politics, policy, Parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
Was William Shakespeare a black Jewish woman? Well, that's what a sensational, to say the least, new book is claiming. Author Irene Coslet argues that centuries of Western-centric ideology has hidden the true authorship of the Shakespearean canon, and points to Emilia Bassano, a poet with Tudor court connections, as the real writer behind the plays. According to the theory, a woman of North African origin used the pen name Shakespeare only for her work to be stolen by an uneducated man from Stratford-upon-Avon. So tonight, I'm asking, is British history being rewritten or even erased in the name of modern identity politics? I'm now delighted to be joined for the first time on the show, founder of the YouTube channel History Revealed, Joel. Thanks for joining me, Joel. And activist Eamonn. Thank you very much for joining me, both of you. Eamonn, I'll start with you and then I'll let Joel respond directly to your statement. Do you think British history is being erased?
Well, no, but let me just be clear. I think we've been manipulated by a very hot article from Telegraph. It basically led us all to believe that this woman, who was technically supposed to be erasing Shakespeare because she was the original, and now our history as English British people is being erased. Well, that title was actually wrong, because Emilia wasn't actually black, nor was she African, nor was she North African. So I'll stop taking the mick and I'll just explain that she had a white mother who was English.
Yeah,
she had a father who was Italian. No. If we're going to talk about it, let me be clear. Let's be clear. Her father was Italian, Spanish. There was no actual link in terms of her actually being North African.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Cates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Just got an update on that robbery in Richmond on Saturday morning, 10:30. Joining us to talk about it, we've got Scarlett Maguire and we've got Mike Parry with that. Mike, police are hunting the two men involved and armed with a sledgehammer. Yeah. They were masked as well. Yeah. So this street features in the TV series Ted Lasso as well. So what have you got to tell us?
Well, what's so shocking about it is that Richmond is the borough in London with the lowest crime rate. So it's very, very shocking to people in Richmond, in a pedestrianised area, to see two blokes come along completely without a care in the world and start launching their sledgehammers at the window. Now, the window is the sort of window that doesn't smash inwards because it's unbreakable, so the frame comes out. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. The frame comes out, the men reach in and then start stealing all their goods and they're away. But as usual, not a policeman in sight. And the biggest complaint that people have in this capital, London, is that we never see a policeman on the streets. That's why...
And these guys must have known this.
Well, of course they knew it. And shoplifting is an explosive crime in this country. It's the biggest in the world, shoplifting in this country. And this is just a sophisticated form of shoplifting, isn't it?
Terrifying.
We know there's nobody around to stop them. They get on with it. People in this country always stand back and think, I don't think I should get involved. That's the way we are in our wonderful country. They take the goods and they run off. But it's not just here in Richmond. In London over the weekend, a Rolex shop was attacked.
Saw that. That was...
Yeah, in Knightsbridge. In Knightsbridge. So you've got the sign Rolex across the top. Obviously, that's where it is. But again, the thieves felt so confident that there'd be nobody there to stop them. They
Central London,
Knightsbridge, one of the wealthiest bits of real estate in the world, and they just walk in.
But Mike, you say about, about confronting these guys, whatever. I look at that, and this is filmed from a cafe across the road from the jewellers. I wouldn't have got involved in that.
No, neither would I. But what I'm saying is that because I pay my council tax, I would expect a policeman to be around somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, in the old days, you know, you could blow a whistle and the thieves would run off because that indicated there was a policeman about.
So what's happened is, and this has gone on for decades, is they've decided, completely wrongly, I'm agreeing with you, that you didn't want policemen on the beat because they never ever did anything. Actually, how much they prevented, we will never know. And what. And so they were put in cars, everything was centralised, and all over the country. This isn't just London.
Yeah.
And actually it's terrible because what we need is neighbourhood policing.
I totally
neighbourhood
agree.
policing for, I mean, not just for that, for everything, so that you have people who know what they're doing.
Who decided to take policemen off the streets? Which lunatic politician from which side of the political spectrum took policemen off the streets?
I don't agree with you, Scarlett, that we decided we didn't want policemen. I think the great comfort is to know that there's policemen or policewomen around, and people just want to see that as a visual deterrent.
When I say we, I mean governments. I don't mean ordinary people, ordinary us. I mean, I like seeing policemen on the street. It makes me feel safer, right? Particularly at night. But actually, I mean, it was decided that all the Home Affairs. This came from the police and government.
Yeah, it's more efficient.
They decided that, you know, what you needed was cars that could get. I'm agreeing with you. It's
totally
the
agree.
wrong policy, and it's got to be changed.
I totally agree. The reason that villains used to be captured in the days of the Sweeney and people like that was because there were policemen on the streets, and they could give a nod and a wink to the local villains. Lair, you know, where you knew that if something like that had happened, they could put it down to 2 or 3 local villains and find out who it was, and that's what we
will say.
Precisely. And no, but also the thing about local policemen, they know what's happening, and also you can go and talk to them, and you can go, I'm worried.
But there's not enough of them.
You have a relationship.
And we'll be told there is no money to spend on police officers, and yet we're finding 170 odd million today to spend in Rwanda or somewhere to stop people coming over here as immigrants. I think there's just a whole priority wrongness about the priority of how we spent money in this country.
I totally agree. I mean, there's another story today. The welfare bill in this country is going to be the biggest in the G7. By the end of this decade, the welfare bill could go up to £400 billion in this country.
Yeah, except, Mike, this is a model, and we know that a lot is being done to actually lower the welfare bill. And
what is being done?
Scarlett,
please enlighten me. Enlighten me.
It's got to be reformed.
Rachel Reeves just announced a £16 billion increase in the welfare bill. So tell me, please, what is being done to reduce it?
The biggest thing that will reduce the welfare bill is getting people back to work.
And people are coming out of work.
And
unemployment numbers are going up.
She is guaranteeing that no young person will be out of work.
Oh, I believe that guarantee from Rachel Reeves. She's such a successful chancellor. She's putting businesses out of work every day.
Mike, they're doing what actually Labour did in 1997, which is a new deal to get, and it got people into work.
Well, this doesn't get people into work.
And this is getting people into work.
Walk down any high street, Scarlett, businesses are closing all over the place. A pub is closing a day. That puts people out of work.
Which has been going on for years.
Well, I'm sorry, it's still going on. It's her responsibility.
And it's terrible, but it certainly went on for the 14 years of the Tories. That is terrible, and the reason so many pubs are closing is because there are easier ways of making money. That's the problem.
2.2%. That's the percentage of our GDP which could go on welfare.
I know, and
that is enormous. You know, it's 4 times the defence budget.
That's not the reason why pubs are closing. That there are easier ways to make money and doing more.
They're being closed down by the owners, and instead they're building.
No,
flats.
they're being priced out of business by greedy breweries, greedy landlords.
And greedy chancellors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But once you've paid the national insurance, once you've paid the minimum wage, once you've paid the new business rates, there is nothing left.
Well, there's
and Labour like pubs closing down.
As far as the business rates are concerned, is that pubs are being given a special deal on them, right? And at this rate, everybody's going to be given a special deal on business rates because it's really tough, right?
Well, why charge business rates? That's the whole point.
Exactly.
Just reform them. I mean, they're obviously crippling in so many ways, but we'd rather take the money and then go and spend it on bringing immigrants abroad into the country, would we not?
No, that is not what we're trying to do. We're trying to do exactly...
We're spending money where we haven't got money to spend.
It is what we do. And today, by the way, you know that the alcohol tax goes up today, this very day. Announced in the last budget.
Alcohol taxes go up every year,
Well,
Mike.
they shouldn't.
I mean, there's nothing
They
new
shouldn't go up
about
every year.
That's not strictly true. The Tories did freeze it, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But they have been, I mean, you know, most of my life, alcohol has been going up. Right, alcohol taxes have been
come up
going
with an initiative and say, I tell you what, to try and save the pubs, we'll freeze alcohol taxes, right, and bring them back down, because the British pub is unique, and Labour know this, and anything that's uniquely British, they seem to have a downer on. The countryside, pubs, racing.
Rubbish. I go to the pub a lot. When I go to my local Labour Party, as soon as it's over, we go to the pub. We love pubs, right? There is nothing...
Rachel Reeves doesn't.
Well...
Because she's trying to close them down.
No, she's not trying to close them down.
Well, they are closing down under her watch.
She's not trying to close them down.
Well, she's not doing them any favours, but look, talk about something that is uniquely British. Fawlty Towers has been crowned our #1 TV show, and there's lots of Fawlty Towers that you couldn't regard as politically correct or whatever, but it is a wonderful laugh. It is a wonderful laugh.
It's fantastic. I mean, look, as a young reporter, and everybody around this table will know this, I used to stay in bed and breakfast places all over the country, Blackpool and all that, and they were Fawlty Towers. And John Cleese brilliantly picked up on the idiosyncrasies of these little hotels and made it into the greatest TV series ever. And one of the reasons why it's still so great is he stopped after 12 episodes.
Yes.
He only ever made 12 and then said, and that's why I still rush home at night if I know it's on to watch it again.
And also, unfortunately, many hotels haven't changed.
Yes, that's true.
But it is brilliant.
We'll stop you two there after your second outing today. They'll be back to do it again in about 45 minutes' time. So for the moment, thank you very much indeed. We'll be back after we bring you a weather update with Liam.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning and welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. As the first week of February begins, the weather is still going to be very similar to what we saw in January. Many grey skies around and will be some more outbreaks of rain to come. Now, it was a chilly start, especially across Northern Ireland this morning. We had some icy patches here, but now things are starting to cloud over through this morning. We will see a few outbreaks of some showers across central England and Wales, and a bit more persistent rain across eastern Scotland as well. Winds here are pretty strong. We could see some gale force winds up towards those Northern Isles. Temperatures-wise, around what we would expect for the beginning of February, between sort of 6 and 9 degrees across the country. Now, this rain band across the south coming across the channel, that is going to move its way northwards. So we do have another rain warning across the southwest through this evening and into tomorrow. Plenty of rain there already, so the ground is pretty saturated. A few more showers across Northern Ireland and more persistent rain across Scotland will continue. A lot of that rain across those higher hills is turning towards snow as we go through this evening, and the winds are still remaining pretty strong across that eastern coast as well. Now, like I said, this rain will continue to move its way northwards. Places like Devon, Cornwall, Dorset have already seen over 200 millimetres across the course of January. So the ground is very saturated, and any rain that will fall will lead towards more flooding issues. But most places staying frost-free overnight. A lot of places staying around 3 or 4 degrees as we start Tuesday morning. Now, those rains towards the very far southwest will slowly start to ease through the morning, but otherwise a very damp start across the southern half of the UK. A little bit drier up towards the north, still clinging on to a lot of that cloud, but those winds again are picking up through the day, especially across that northeastern coast and those higher hills. But it will be a much fresher day to come. Temperatures up towards the north, highs of around 4 or 5 degrees.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you, Britain, for helping us reach 10 million followers across our social media platforms. We're truly honoured to have your trust, one follower at a time.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the M74 southbound, the Junction 6 off Slip to Hamilton is closed for planned maintenance. On the M4 eastbound, expect heavy queues between Junction 28 at Tredegar Park and Junction 23A at Mager. In North Yorkshire, the M62 eastbound entry slip at Junction 34 is shut after a crash, with all lanes closed. In Worcestershire, the M5 southbound between Junction 6 and 7 has a broken down vehicle blocking one lane. And on the trains, cross-country services between Southampton Central and Brockenhurst are disrupted, and Great Western Railway reports disruption on some routes. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
We want you to set off on the destination of your dreams this year, as you could win an incredible holiday for two worth £10,000. Courtesy of Riviera Travel, you'll get to choose from 47 tours in over 30 worldwide destinations. We'll also give you £30,000 in tax-free cash to make sure you really make a splash this summer.
For a chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB19 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 27th of February. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK, we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News, the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Hello there, a very good morning to you. Riannon White's mother has come into the studio this morning. We're getting ready to speak to her live at 8:20, and this is her first interview since her daughter's illegal immigrant killer was sentenced last Friday.
Yeah, we will be talking to Siobhan White at about 8:20 this morning. We've just met her during the break. She's wonderful. You don't want to go anywhere. You really don't want to miss it. She's bravely sharing her message that she has for the government, and she has some very, very strong words indeed.
Meanwhile, breaking news overnight, Peter Mandelson has quit the Labour Party after the latest batch of Epstein files appeared to reveal payments sent by the convicted paedophile to the former American ambassador.
Is your money dirty money? If you live, just ask a question. Is your money dirty money? Do you think you're the devil himself?
Yes, plus even more bombshell revelations emerge from the Epstein files. Stay tuned for the gory details on that one.
The government draws up plans to engineer more diversity in the countryside after a report criticised places like the Cotswolds for being too white.
And sport this morning, Manchester City throw away 2-goal lead for the first time in 8 years to draw 2-2 at Spurs. Manchester United scoring Fergie time to win their third game on the bounce. Cue smile from Eamonn. And little boxing tip, well, never go into a big fight wearing a toupee.
Now, as we start the new month of February, will the weather change compared to January? Join me for all the latest later.
And thank you for joining us right now. We'll be with you until 9:30 this morning. We hope you have your company. I'm Eamonn Holmes.
And I'm Dawn Neeson, and this is GB News Breakfast.
I'll just say, have you got any idea how difficult it is for announcers at football matches? Because usually I wouldn't do this, and I was asked yesterday at Spurs if I could do that. You'd think, read out the substitutions. Yeah. So substitution and the goal score. So anyway, I'm standing there in the pouring rain in the tunnel. You saw me in the tunnel. You saw me standing there in the tunnel. And then someone shouts in here and go, number 8, Manchester City, number 8 coming off, number 5 coming on, Spurs. The panic is unbelievable. So I'm having to look through numbers in front of everybody and go, replacing number 7, so-and-so. It was the most stressful thing I think I've ever done.
And you work with Eamonn. I mean...
I know, and that's including that includes working with Eamonn.
I don't envy you.
Eamonn would have been there to help me.
You didn't look stressed.
Yeah, it was all over the place. So if you're a Manchester City fan and you thought, actually, I don't want Phil Foden to come on, the reason he came on, it's my fault because I called out his number. So they had no choice.
How did you end up doing this if this wasn't your natural job?
It was because Pete, who usually does it, was off. And I think his daughter was getting married. They said, well, can you come in? Oh, yeah, OK. But it was terrifying.
You think you would have prepared and practiced for it?
Well, Eamonn, I did. Can you imagine what it had been if I hadn't? Seriously, though, it was absolute murder. In the pouring rain as well. And I've got it written down as bits of paper which are just all getting soaked. I'm glad to be back here. In the warm
and the dry.
And amongst friends again, really.
My problem with doing that job will be that I couldn't trust myself not to swear.
Oh, now look, when have you ever swore? Actually, on the air, it's quite a lot. Is
it is quite a lot. We have a dump button.
You wouldn't.
No, I managed not to. But if I was commentating on football, and especially if it was my team, and you were talking about Spurs, if it was West Ham, I would be swearing a lot.
Yeah.
And you're not allowed to do that, are you?
No, that's right.
No. I'd probably punch a mascot or two as well.
Yeah. But if Manchester United scored and you were doing a similar thing, Alan Keegan, I know he's
Well, I don't swear, so...
I know you don't.
Yes.
But, I mean, you would get very animated and excited, though, if you...
Hold on a minute. Right, I've got a story about Eamonn Holmes here.
What?
OK, yeah, it's that one. The very, very first time we worked together was back in the 90s, and I was working for the Sun newspaper, and I was sent to shadow you, do a day in the life of Eamonn Holmes on the breakfast tea thing. And the very first words you said, not to me, you were talking about football, ironically, you were talking about Man United. They were very naughty words indeed. And you know what I thought, Eamonn? I thought, I'm going to get on with you. and we have done ever since. But yeah, so the thing about you swearing is mostly not exactly true, is it?
Look, we swear differently in Ireland. I mean, you use swearing in Ireland to embellish things and to big things up, and you can only swear really at your friends, all that sort of thing.
I've never heard you swear.
Anyway, Sir Mel Stride would like to say no swearing there. We've got him here, the Shadow Chancellor, to talk to him this morning from Westminster. Although, Sir Mel, I think there's a lot of things that could get you swearing, isn't there? When you think of what goes on in the political world. Now, what is getting on your goat this morning? And there is something here that you want to lash out about.
Well, I'm on, I think, Eamonn, to talk about the fact that I will be addressing the British-American companies business group later on today and talk about the importance of free trade, the importance of not having high tariff barriers around the world, and calling out the fact that, of course, that is precisely the direction that President Trump is going in. There needs to be a voice out there that stands up for the importance of free trade. It's important for our prosperity around the world. It's pulled hundreds of millions of people out of poverty over the years. It's important for jobs and living standards in our own country, and there needs to be a strong voice out there making that point.
But Mel, if that's what he's decided to do, how can you speak against him because he doesn't listen?
Well, if you say nothing at all, there's nothing to listen to. I think that's the problem. So I think we do need to be a strong voice as a Conservative Party in the public square, making it clear that we need to stand up for free trade, because it really does matter. It matters to everybody up and down this country. We're under a huge amount of pressure because of the economic mismanagement of the economy that we've seen under this Chancellor. And one of the things that only makes things worse is if we have high tariff barriers around the world, making the cost of goods that much more expensive.
But who Mel, wins in a tariff situation? I mean, does even America win? I mean, when you look at it, people just won't be able to afford to export, so therefore surely that would harm them as well.
Yes, precisely. Nobody loses overall. You can always point in a tariff situation to a small group or a subgroup of a particular economy who are being protected perhaps by the tariffs, who might gain. But overall, if you look at the populations across different countries, everybody on average loses as a consequence. They lose in the short term because of the barriers to trade and therefore not reaping those kind of economic efficiencies that you get when you trade with a country that does something more efficiently than you do. But you also get the longer term effect, which is that by erecting tariff walls, you reduce competition for your own domestic economy, and that lack of competition means lower innovation, which in time of course means lower growth and higher prices.
Mel, can we ask you about the other big political story of the day, the Epstein link and Peter Mandelson stepping back from the Labour Party? Does Keir Starmer have a lot of questions to answer about why he appointed Mandelson to be ambassador to America?
Yes, he does. I mean, he's shown no backbone whatsoever. He's allowed this to run and run and run with all these revelations through time, and to end up at a point where it's been left to Peter Mandelson to actually step down. He should have been removed from the Labour Party some considerable time ago. But I think in this sort of haystack of information that's now out there, we're going to get more and more revelations through time. We've already got questions for Peter Mandelson to answer around money that he is alleged to have received back in 2003 and 4, both him and his then partner, now husband, and various other issues that are swirling around. And what we actually need now is a full independent inquiry into who knew what when around all this Mandelson Epstein affair, going back many, many years now. And it is important because Peter Mandelson has been a prominent member of the Labour Party. He's a member of the House of Lords. He's a former ambassador to the United States for our country. And I think the very least we need now is transparency and a full independent investigation.
He has been summoned to Congress in America. Obviously, it's not compulsory. He doesn't have to go. But do you think he should go and answer those questions? And more importantly, do you think our Keir Starmer should go with him?
Well, I think certainly Peter Mandelson should be attending any hearing that Congress wishes him to attend. Because, look, what we must not lose sight of here in all the sort of political knockabout is that there are real victims of this dreadful individual, Epstein, real life victims. In the case of one of them, somebody who took their own life. And we need to have answers. We owe it to them to give those answers. And when powerful people in important decisions with lots of wealth and so on and so forth behave in that way, we do need to get to the bottom of exactly what has happened. So yes, absolutely, Peter Mandelson should testify to Congress, and anybody else who seeks to find the truth on this matter.
Mel, just one other area before we say goodbye to you that we need answers to, that the family needs answers to, and that is Siobhan White, who's the mother of Riannon White, whose murderer was sentenced on Friday. We've got her next on the programme, and she's speaking live to us during her grief, and still very, very angry and heartbroken about the whole situation. Is there any lessons to be learnt from this and how her daughter was murdered?
Well, can I firstly say, Eamonn, my heart goes out to her, of course, and all friends and family. This was a terrible and very, very brutal murder. I think in terms of lessons, there will be many for the authorities to look at in terms of the details as to exactly why this occurred and whether this could have been picked up earlier, for example. It appears that there were mental health issues perhaps involved. But it's equally right that this terrible individual has now going to prison for a very long time, I think 29 years in total. But there's a broader issue here. In no way is one saying that illegal migration is all legal migrants are possibly going to end up in this kind of situation. But we have to recognise that this kind of incident and other incidents like it at all sorts of different levels happen because we have not controlled the level of illegal migration into our country. And what the government has got to do is to come forward with a clear, robust plan, and we've set one out where the deterrence for those coming over is strong, so that they know that if they come over here illegally, they will be picked up and returned and sent away from our shores promptly, without any delays. Until you reach that point, I'm afraid we're not going to get on top of illegal migration. And as I say, I'm certainly not suggesting that all those that come here are anything like in that category at all, absolutely not. But nonetheless, it is the case that the high levels of illegal migration are bringing their own problems with them, I'm afraid.
Okay, Sir Mel, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much indeed for speaking to us this morning. Thank you very much indeed. As we say, we've got Siobhan. Thank you, Siobhan White, up in just a few minutes' time, and it's the time now at 12 minutes past 8. Here's time for the new Great British Giveaway. I hope you can have a go.
This year, the adventure of a lifetime could be on us. Courtesy of Riviera Travel, there's a terrific £10,000 holiday for two to be won. You could be here exploring the magic of Egypt on a Nile River cruise, or choose from over 30 worldwide destinations like Thailand, South Africa, New Zealand, or even Sri Lanka. And because they have over 40 years experience with handcrafted tours, you'll be safe in the knowledge that every step of the journey will be planned with you in mind. We'll also boost your bank account with a fabulous £30,000 in tax-free cash, which you'll be able to spend however you like this year. So what are you waiting for?
For a chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB19, PO Box 8690, Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 27th of February. The winner may be contacted live after all entry routes are closed. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Siobhan White next, live in the studio. But first, let's get an update on the weather situation.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning and welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. As the first week of February begins, the weather is still going to be very similar to what we saw in January. Many grey skies around and there will be some more outbreaks of rain to come. Now, it was a chilly start, especially across Northern Ireland this morning. We had some icy patches here, but now things are starting to cloud over through this morning. We will see a few outbreaks of some showers across central England and Wales and a bit more persistent rain across eastern Scotland as well. Winds here are pretty strong. We could see some gale force winds up towards those Northern Isles. Temperatures-wise, around what we would expect for the beginning of February, between sort of 6 and 9 degrees across the country. Now, this rain band across the south coming across the Channel, that is going to move its way northwards. So we do have another rain warning across the southwest through this evening and into tomorrow. Plenty of rain there already, so the ground is pretty saturated. A few more showers across Northern Ireland and that more persistent rain across Scotland will continue. A lot of that rain across those higher hills is turning towards snow as we go through this evening, and the winds are still remaining pretty strong across that eastern coast as well. Now, like I said, this rain will continue to move its way northwards. Places like Devon, Cornwall, Dorset have already seen over 200 millimetres across the course of January. So the ground is very saturated and any rain that will fall will lead towards more flooding issues. But most places staying frost-free overnight. A lot of places staying around 3 or 4 degrees as we start Tuesday morning. Now, those rains towards the very far southwest will slowly start to ease through the morning, but otherwise a very damp start start across the southern half of the UK. A little bit drier up towards the north, still clinging on to a lot of that cloud, but those winds again are picking up through the day, especially across that northeastern coast and those higher hills. But it will be a much fresher day to come. Temperatures up towards the north, highs of around 4 or 5 degrees.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Patrick Christie's Tonight, weekdays from 9 p.m.
Is Brooklyn Beckham just an over-entitled Nepo baby here who probably wouldn't have married an heiress if he didn't happen to have his dad's last name?
Look, I think, as you said, these were jaw-dropping revelations and claims made against his family. This is the most public sort of disowning of his family that we ever could have seen. I mean, nobody expected this. Obviously, we know that there's been this rift going on, and we've sort of had briefings from both camps, but never overtly statements made, right, like this. So I think in terms of your question, there's three sides to every story. There's yours, mine, and the truth is somewhere in the middle. I think for this, some of the revelations were so specific. I mean, the dancing one, for example, the hijacking his first dance at his wedding to Nicola Peltz in 2022. How can you make that claim when 500 people were at that wedding? You know, is he really going to make a claim like that that could be refuted so easily? I mean, we've already had sort of people close to the Beckhams saying this is not true already, and apparently he blocked his siblings and not the other way around.
So sorry, have they come out and people have come out and said this isn't true?
It's sort of like more, messages between people we know are close there. It's not necessarily official at all. In fact, it's definitely not official, but people have started suggesting already that a lot of it isn't true. But then again, I'm in between because, how can you make such specific claims with so many people around for them to be totally, where there's smoke, there's fire. And I feel it's sort of an in-between situation where clearly something's gone on. I mean, you and I can see, and anyone can see, that brand Beckham is very important to them.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Westminster, the ultimate clique. And you're fighting like rats in a sack. But here on the Camila Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask. OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician. Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off-limits. You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it. That's the Camila Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless. But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show. Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Now, the murder of Riannon White. Riannon was a 27-year-old hotel worker and mother who was stabbed to death by an illegal immigrant from Sudan. Shocked the whole country, October 2024.
15 months later, and her killer has been jailed for a minimum of 29 years.
Now, we have in the studio Riannon's mother, Siobhan, and before we actually talk to her, Sophia Hill has this report.
The vicious murder of a young mother waiting for her train home. Her attacker, an asylum seeker who laughed and danced after stabbing her. Riannon White died 3 days later from a brainstem injury. She had been working cleaning and serving food at the Park Inn Hotel, where her killer, Den Majek, a Sudanese small boat migrant, was staying. On the 20th of October 2024, CCTV showed Majek staring at Riannon while she handed out snacks. A witness later told Wolverhampton Crown Court they felt scared and believed that he was going to do something that night. Staff reported feeling intimidated and informed hotel security. After Riannon finished her shift at 11 p.m, she walked across the road to Mascot train station. Unbeknown to her, Majek waited in the car park and followed her. CCTV shows him walking up the steps behind her. Seconds later, he attacked her on the platform. She suffered multiple stab wounds and died 3 days later from a brainstem injury. CCTV later showed Majek leaving the station, throwing her phone into a river, buying alcohol and returning to the hotel as the emergency services arrived. Police recovered footage of him laughing and dancing. Prosecutors said he was clearly excited by what he had done.
In regard to all the matters to which I have referred, I set that minimum term at 29 years. From this must be deducted the 466 days you have spent on remand in custody. This means that the minimum term you will serve before you can be considered for release is 27 years and 264 days. Yes, please take him.
Riannon's family described their loss as catastrophic. She was a mother, a sister, an aunt and a daughter whose life was taken in the most horrific way. Sophia Hill, GB News.
And watching that with us in the studio, we've got Riannon's mum, Siobhan White. And we know that must be really, really difficult to watch, Siobhan. And our condolences to you first and foremost. I know this is very brave of you talking to us today, but you wanted to talk live and it was important for you to get this message over. Could I just ask you, just as an observer in this whole thing, why did this guy, and I know you don't even like mentioning his name, are you any closer to finding out why he did what he did?
There was absolutely no reason at all. No reason. As you've seen from the CCTV links, he literally just watched her for hours. There was no reason. They'd never even crossed words, never spoken. He didn't even know her name. He just, as you can see, as she's walking in the hotel and he walks out, there's 3 girls, but he deliberately goes for Riannon.
Yeah.
It was just like she was his target and that was it. No reason, and we'll never know why.
No, nothing. She wasn't overly aware of him, but he was aware of her.
Yeah, no. Well, apparently it was, they said they reported it to Serco. Well, that didn't do much good, did it? Because they just sat there. But no, nothing. There was absolutely no reason at all why he did.
Now, we've talked about Riannon a lot on GB News because, and so many viewers have been in touch to say please pass on their condolences and their support for you and your family. We've talked about the scumbag that did this to your daughter, but we haven't talked much about Riannon as a mum, as a daughter, as a sister. Just tell a little bit about what Riannon was like.
She was actually, hand on heart, genuinely the nicest person you could ever meet. She had a heart of gold. She would do anything for anyone. She adored that little boy. She adored her nieces, her nephews. She loved her family. And the only thing about Riannon, she would never argue back. And I used to say to her, stand up for yourself, stand up for yourself. She just didn't have it in her.
Yeah.
And she was just, honestly, you know, you could be someone on the floor and she would give you her last pound. I mean, people will say, oh, she's saying that because she's a mum. No, it's genuine.
Yeah.
But like the police have said, they've spoken to a lot of people and they all got the same reviews back about her.
Now, you mentioned her son there, and it's a little boy, he's 5 years of age. We're, again, not going to name him.
No.
What does he know? What have you told him? How has he responded?
Well, we had to tell him, Alex, who's looking after him now, Riannon's sister, we had to tell him that he knew Riannon was in hospital, didn't know why. We tried to explain to him that she had a poorly brain. And Alex was saying she had a poorly brain, she had to go to heaven. Well, to hear a child cry like that, the first word out of this poor little 5-year-old's mouth was, I need my vitamins. I don't want to get a poorly brain. And he got himself so worked up that Alex had to sit him on her lap and explain. He was a bad man. We couldn't, you know, he caused a poorly brain. We couldn't save her. Doctors couldn't. And trying to explain that to a 5-year-old, now 6-year-old child, is traumatising itself because we still can't comprehend what's gone on. So how does a child of that age... He's now saying to Alex that he wants to be a brain surgeon.
Why?
To help people that have gone through what Riannon has.
He doesn't want any other...
He's too innocent to be thinking these things. He goes to bed every night with a teddy bear with Rhiannon's picture on it.
And how do you... I mean, the impact on your family, and especially seeing as you were put through the court case, because it's not even a person, this piece of filth that did this to your daughter, he made you sit in court. He didn't admit that he'd done anything wrong, despite the evidence. He made you and your family go through another hell.
He's lied consistently. He even called the forensics liars. He said that wasn't him, it wasn't me. It's obvious, it was his clothes, it was his physique, it was him.
Was this guy, is he mentally ill, do you think? Was he drunk? Was he on drugs?
He's been deemed sane. He was deemed sane.
So this was...
It was just a psychopath who just decided that...
He wasn't drunk, he wasn't on drugs?
No, he went and got drink after the incident, hence him dancing.
And how did you... I mean, I've watched that, and obviously I didn't know your daughter, but I watched that and I got so angry, Siobhan. He went back to the hotel.
Yeah.
He was partying after murdering your daughter.
Literally within the hour. Because you could see the blue lights still there, literally within the hour.
But when you look at these pictures here...
He hadn't spoken to anyone prior. That's obvious. He hadn't spoken to anyone prior. And now all of a sudden he's up there dancing. He's celebrating, dancing on my daughter's grave.
Literally.
And you said after the court case, are you happy with the verdict, by the way? Are you happy with the sentence?
I am happy. It will never be enough.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to be honest, if the death penalty was in, I would get him up straight away. But it will never be enough, but he will never be out to hurt anybody else.
Siobhan, I should say to you, you say you would vote for the death penalty. Dawn was here live on GB News last Friday night when the verdict came through. And there was just huge support, wasn't there?
So many messages for you and your family, and so many people so incredibly angry. Anger, I think, in your situation is a positive emotion. Who are you angry at and why?
Starmer, the government, for allowing this to happen. There's so many cases that are brushed under the carpet. We have sat quiet for 15 months for Rhiannon's sake. Yeah. So I wanted justice. We're not a family that are going to go and kick off. What's the point? Starmer needs to be held accountable. If it was his family, Sadiq Khan, if it was their family, this wouldn't happen. You know, this needs to stop. I mean, there's cases of poor men, poor children, women being raped, attacked, beaten, murdered on a daily basis. And it's not genuine asylum seekers, it is illegals. We don't know who they are, we don't know what diseases they've got, and half the time I don't think they know who they are, but they're still allowing them in.
Well, the Home Office will say they share your grief and they share your anger, and they say the murder of Riannon was an abhorrent crime. Our thoughts are with their loved ones. This vile criminal is behind bars where he belongs, and he has rightly received the strictest punishment of a life sentence. We share the public's anger about the broken asylum system and hotels. That is precisely why we are doing everything we can to keep dangerous offenders out of the country and close down hotels.
Siobhan, what's your response to that?
But why is it still happening? Why hasn't something been done before? Because Rhiannon's not the first case, and sadly she won't be the last. But we were handed a life sentence today. I had to watch my daughter die. Yeah. And where is Starmer? He's got blood on his hands.
Have you heard any... I know you're going to start a campaign now for women and girls and to stop this happening. No other family should go what you and your family...
even support of the families going through this. Yeah.
Have you heard anything from the government? Are you looking to meet Starmer face-to-face?
I would love to meet Starmer face-to-face. The only person, political-wise, that's reached out is Darren Grimes. I know a lot of people don't like him, etc., but again, I don't care. He's been respectful towards my family. He's been respectful to me. But political-wise, not one single person has reached out.
Officially?
Officially, yeah. Not one person.
Could I ask you, Siobhan, you've got your grief, you're talking to us today, live after that sentence on Friday. How are you coping? Who's looking after you? How are you coping with your grief?
I'm lucky I've got a strong family, a good support group, but as I explained to Dawn earlier, I am mentally and physically drained. After today, I will be taking time back to try and unwind, because I don't think I've really had time to grieve.
No.
Because 2 days after Riannon's verdict, my mum passed away. Broken heart. So basically, he's got the death of 2 people on his hands.
You said after the sentence that your life ended with Riannon's that day.
Yeah.
I mean, no mother should have to go through what you're going through.
I mean, the only thing that's kept me going is my other children and my grandchildren. But then you live a life of being scared of what life have they got. They're having lockdowns in schools. They shouldn't be doing that to children of 7 and 8.
If you did get to see Keir Starmer face to face, what would you say to him?
That this needs to be done. Would he be sitting there, flying off to China and doing all this if it was his child, his wife, his niece, his family member? No, he'd take a firm stance on it then, wouldn't he?
And I have to say, I mean, obviously, I'm a woman. I just feel so much that the safety of women and girls in this country is being put at risk by so many
Exactly, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if you're aware that Tommy Robinson turned up on Friday, and it was a lovely surprise. And he didn't make it about himself, he made it about him. And he was right. Where is the support of our women and children? Where is it? British Transport Police, if they hadn't have made that arrest within 5 hours, would he have gone? He's already been to Libya, he's already been to Italy, been to France, denied asylum in both countries, yet they welcome him into this country.
Yeah, that's the bit I couldn't understand.
No, and we still don't know why he was denied asylum, but
he's denied, and yet they say, oh, just go to Britain.
Just come to England. He was in this country 11 weeks when he took my daughter's life. 11 weeks. Now, if British Transport hadn't made that arrest, would he have got away with it again? Because I don't believe this is his first time.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. We don't know.
I don't. He's lied so much, though. I don't believe a word that comes out of his mouth.
Siobhan, we were seeing pictures of Riannon on screen there, whatever, and it must be very touching just looking at her and seeing her there, beautiful smiling face and whatever. How much do you miss her?
I can't. Every day. Every day. Every second of the day. And I'll continue to miss her. Sorry.
No. Why would you be sorry?
I just miss her. I miss her laugh, her stupidity, because she was very quirky. But I miss her. She came to live with me. We became best friends. We did everything together.
Yeah.
And this scumbag has took her from me.
I know. You see, we noticed you know, you're crying, you're sobbing now, and lots of people will be crying along with you.
But I've spent the last 15 months doing this, and I've had to stay strong for my child, my children. But I'm angry. And I'm frustrated. Yes, we got justice, and we got it pretty quick considering a lot of cases. But he's ended our lives, really.
So I can feel your anger too.
Yeah.
And how would you encapsulate that? How would you describe that? Who are you angry at?
Starmer and the government for allowing this to happen. And I won't back down from it either, because he's got the blood of Riannon and these other women and men on it, children on his hands. So he needs to take accountability, and he needs to take his head out of his backside and stand up and realise what is going on in his country.
And you've got other children, you've got grandchildren.
Yes.
How do you feel about the future going forward?
I'm scared for my grandchildren. I'm scared for my children. They're all adults, admittedly, but it doesn't matter, does it? Because Riannon was an adult. But my grandchildren, I'm petrified. My nieces have all got children. My nephews, it's horrible.
And what would you say, Siobhan, to the not even a man, the creature that did this? If you could sit and say something to him now, what would you say?
Why?
That's where we started. Why?
Why?
You didn't know then, you don't know now.
We don't know now, nothing. He's, like I said, consistent lies. He lied about his age. He's just been so, you know, his cocky attitude with the government, the Home Office interviewing him, and he's just, why?
But you're going to fight on in Riannon's name? We're
going to carry on in Riannon's name, yeah.
This doesn't happen to any other family?
No.
Siobhan, we'll say goodbye to you. We thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Again, we're very so sorry for what has happened.
Thank you.
And no, thank you for talking to us. Really appreciate
Look after
that.
little one.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
We'll go to the break there, and we'll be back right after this. Don't go away.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The M74 southbound off-slip at Junction 6 for Hamilton is currently shut for planned maintenance work. On the M4 eastbound at Junction 33, there is substantial congestion on the off-slip at Capel Lanilton. The M11 southbound between Junction 6 and Junction 5 in Essex is experiencing queues which are adding around 15 minutes to travel time. And on the trains, cross-country services are experiencing disruptions between Southampton Central and Brockenhurst, with additional Great Western Railway disruption on some routes. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Dinner under the stars tonight?
That reminds me of our travel insurance.
You mean all clear skies?
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
The current unsettled weather is extending to many other areas of Europe as well, particularly parts of Portugal and southern Spain, seeing some very persistent rain at the moment, some localised flooding around here. Showers that are pushing across the continent are also bringing mountain snow over the Alps, but whilst eastern areas of the Mediterranean get a brief respite on Tuesday, we are expecting further thunderstorms and heavy showers to move through here later on in the week, so still rather wet for many.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Do you trust what you're being told? Good, because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that, because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
We can allow.
Stop.
We can allow.
Politics, policy, parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
You can see, for some bizarre reason, we've been here all morning at the 1B tap here in Great Harwood, but now they've trusted me to come behind the bar. Now, we are, as promised, going to have a go at pulling a pint. It's my first ever time pulling a cask ale pint, so don't judge me too harshly. But, of course, a pint of beer or lager is such a staple image. When we think of a pub, we think of a pint, don't we? This is Kelly, who is the landlady here at the 1B tap. Now, to demonstrate the pint, I'm going to give it a pull. But while I'm doing so, I'm going to pass you the microphone. I want you to tell our viewers at home and Dawn in the studio about all the things that we might not think about when we think about a pint of beer, all the things that go into running a pub like this one. So I'll hand you the microphone. You tell us while I have a go at this. Don't judge me too harshly, Dawn.
Amazing. So obviously people don't take into effect that the energy costs and the raw material costs, also the packaging, overheads and the tax hikes. So when we're pulling a pint of beer, we have to think about the cost that's gone into making the beer and the rises in that. We also have to think about the overheads, the staff, the electrics which are plumbed in to pouring a pint. This obviously is very astronomical to pubs, because if it increases, we're therefore going to have to put that onto the consumer, making the pint of beer more expensive.
Now, I'll take that back from you. I think we can see. Now, some people at home might think that's not a very good pint, but you've told me, because it's cask ale, that this is slowly going to work up. Everyone in the pub's having a good look at this now. I'm here in my ear. I'm being told it's not bad, that, so I'll take it for my first time. Now, it's a difficult time for pubs, this. As you were mentioning there, all of these overhead costs that you've got.
GB News, the People's Channel.
No matter the state it's in, this is our nation. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for a genuine, honest discussion on where we have been, where we are going, and where we are with the people who set the direction. Tune in to State of the Nation every Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Only on GB News.
Scarlett Maguire and Mike Parry joining us now in studio. And after that interview we had there with Siobhan White, what did you guys think? What did you think listening to?
Well, after a life in journalism, having covered, some of the biggest trials of all time, including the Yorkshire Ripper, the Old Bailey, the overwhelming loss at the end are the families of the victims. They're the people who have really suffered the most, even though that disgusting person's going away for 27 years. Siobhan said her life is over, and it is over because her daughter was taken from her in such appalling circumstances, which, if the state had acted properly, they could have prevented. And that's the sheer horror and terror. Also, watching her, I was aware, towards the end of the interview, she said, now I feel I have time for grieving. I haven't grieved yet. I thought I was looking at a woman in a state of absolute shock still at the horror of what had happened to her child. And I don't think she'll even fully appreciate, the enormity of it until maybe she gets home from this studio today and for the first time her mind is not consumed about the hate for the person who did what he did to her daughter.
Scarlett, obviously...
I just think I agree with Mike. I don't think she'll ever get over it. I mean, how do you get over losing your daughter in such a terrible way? And obviously, it was over 400 days to his trial, and during that, always she was thinking about the trial and what would happen and everything like that. So I was really struck when she said, "Now I can grieve." And it'll be terrible. I mean, it will. I mean, he has. When you kill somebody, you don't just take one life; you ruin everything else around. I mean, it's in every family, murder case. You know that these people, that there were small children involved. There was the mum. It was just terrible.
I mean, when you meet parents who've lost a child, maybe in a car crash or something like that, you can see their life has changed forever.
Well, I'll tell you what will change now, Mike. There's going to be a kickback on this, that the response people expect from the government and those in power.
Yeah, well, again, Siobhan made a very good point. We have a Prime Minister who spent 1/3 of his premiership flying around the world trying to be a world statesman, striding the globe. But there are so many problems in this country, that one highlighting, one of the huge problems we have. How do we control and look after immigration and the people who come here through our migration policy? He should be spending a lot more time doing that because another point Mrs White made was we don't know how many others like him are here.
No. And one of the issues that many people feel difficult to talk out about this is you're accused of being a racist or fascist if you are concerned about these undocumented young men coming across in these... But you're not at all. You are just concerned about the safety of women and girls, Scarlett.
Yeah.
I mean... I think as far as the safety of women and girls are concerned, there is a real problem in this country, and it's not about what race the men are.
No one's mentioned race.
I mean, absolutely. No, or whether they're immigrants. I mean, actually, 1 in 3 women... I mean, a woman is killed every 3rd day by a partner or ex-partner. I mean, in a university town, 500 women are... I mean, in a university, not
but
a
Scarlett,
town.
if we didn't have migrants here whose backgrounds we don't know, we wouldn't be exacerbating the problem, and we are exacerbating the problem.
I absolutely agree that which is why I have said so many times on this programme that you need to get the asylum system go so that you're sending people back, right?
Or not
rather
letting them come
than
here
keeping
in the
them
first
in
place.
hotels. So that if people are found to be genuine refugees, they can have stayed in a hotel for 3 years. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. They should be turned round in weeks. This man would have been sent away. As she said, he was refused asylum in 2 places already. I mean, actually sending him away only means, I mean, he's...
He could have come back. Our situation is so fragile. He could have come back. That's because we've had examples of people coming back even when they've been put out. But the true matter of the situation is, shouldn't have been here in the first place. We've got to have a proper policy to stop people coming into our country, because we don't know what their motives are to be here, and we don't know their backgrounds, and they are dangerous, and that has been proven.
And if you enter the country illegally, you're a criminal already.
Yeah.
So why should they be allowed to roam the streets and do this?
Right. Guys, let's move on to other news today. And this is about, Scarlett, taxpayers.
Yeah.
Who are amongst the biggest taxpayers in the country?
This is a really good news story, is that the top taxpayers in Britain are paying millions a year. And somebody like J.K. Rowling, the author, the Harry Potter author, is paying $133,000 a year in tax.
A day.
Sorry, a day. She's paying millions a day. And actually, I mean, what we have to remember is there are a lot of rich people in Britain who are doing wonderful things by paying, and just by paying tax, they are being fantastic. I mean, actually, the thing about J.K. Rowling is she gives a lot of money away, and she gives it away very quietly. And I remember years ago working for Gingerbread, and they said, oh, yes, you know, J.K. Rowling gives us millions. And this was decades ago. So actually, you know, what we've got Harry Styles is another person who is not always the most popular person. The two brothers who started Betfred are at the top of the league.
Peter
in
and
paying
Fred
tax.
Dunn, absolutely, started with one shop. They now pay £400 million a year in tax. And just to remind the Chancellor the value of pubs in this country, Wetherspoons, right? Tim Martin, who's the boss of Wetherspoons, got nearly 900 pubs. Each pub pays £1 million a year in tax. It's a huge industry.
Yeah, it's great.
18 billion quid is paid by pubs in this country, and yet we're doing nothing to protect our pubs. So that's another strand to it. But you're right on the other things. I mean, some enormous figures. And the other thing is, some people are so very young. Harry Styles is amongst one of the highest taxpayers in this country. I mean, he's not even 30. It's just fantastic.
And the footballers. I mean, you know, obviously all these footballers that we go, oh, why are they paid so much money? Why are they paid so... Actually, they're great, because they give us masses in tax. And they can't move abroad.
And the question of sports people, here's a story, front page of The Sun.
Yes.
And this is a picture of race driver Lewis Hamilton and Kim Kardashian, the phenomenon that is Kim Kardashian. And Scarlett, what are they saying about them?
Well, their secret is out. They went to this very, very expensive hotel called Estelle Manor, where she flew in for the night with 8 suitcases.
And a very expensive handbag.
A handbag that was so expensive that a bodyguard had to carry it with 2 hands. And it was reckoned that the rooms alone, so they had a private dining room and a private room, and that cost £10,000, and they had a couple massage. And then they both went off. She'd flown in on her private jet. So obviously this was telling the world that they're dating.
I think it's a bit cheap, really. No, I do. I mean, Lewis Hamilton earns a minimum of $40 million a year. Kim Kardashian is a billionairess. I think she was the world's first billionairess, self-made, right? And they stay in a place in the Cotswolds. I mean, surely he's got a £10 million mansion in London or something,
Obviously, they wanted to keep it very low profile.
Oh, that's very low profile on the front of the Sun,
She came out of a side door. So he came out at the end, the next morning or afternoon. He came out of the front door. She came out of a side door for discretion. But then there were her embossed suitcases with her name on it, so that everybody knew that she was leaving. She's not a discreet person, we could say.
Oh, Lewis Hamilton, though, he's got great taste in women, if you don't mind me saying. Nicole
He's done
Scherzinger.
well, hasn't he?
Nicole Scherzinger was his girlfriend for a number of years.
Well, they were all pals. When she was with Kanye West, Yes.
Oh, really?
And he and Nicole Scherzinger, there are lots of pictures of the four of them together. And
Is
they were
that right?
pals.
Call me slightly cynical, but I don't believe a word of it. But hey, good publicity for all
you have no heart. You have no heart,
I have no heart. No, I have no. Romance is well and truly dead.
They say the era of romance is dead.
But isn't Lewis Hamilton the famous Green Warrior who campaigns about eco things and is jetting halfway around the world for one night of passion with Kim?
Yeah, I think
he lives in Monaco,
jetting
actually.
halfway around the world. I think he was probably already there. But actually, if we're talking about great sports stars, Carlos Alcaraz. Alcaraz, who won the Australian Open.
Very impressive.
Yesterday. He's 22.
Yeah.
He's won all the. He's the youngest person by, as Mike pointed out to me, 5 days to win all the Grand Slams. But he also is so. He's a wonderful tennis player, but actually so generous and so nice. And Djokovic said, you know, he is a legend and he will just get better. Djokovic, who lost after a brilliant game. I mean, Djokovic, who, you know.
Yeah. But I agree with you. Alcaraz was so gracious at the end. What he did was he gave recognition to the fact that he probably wouldn't be such a great tennis player without Djokovic having done what he did and inspiring young men like him to do it. So it was a very generous acceptance speech.
How
indeed.
is Alcaraz going to celebrate this magnificent victory?
He's going to celebrate by getting a tattoo of a kangaroo.
Why wouldn't you?
A tattoo of a kangaroo.
Yes, a kangaroo.
Yeah.
Or a marsupial if you don't do the rhyming stuff. Up to you.
I'm glad that I didn't peak at 22. I wouldn't have known what to do after that.
You're still waiting for your peak,
I am still waiting for my peak, Dawn, you're right.
He could be like Bjorn Borg, who said he suddenly realised
26.
he was losing a final at Wimbledon, and he thought, I'm bored.
At 26.
And he never did it again. Yeah, absolutely.
He won it 5 years on the trot, right?
And he was brilliant.
Utterly brilliant. Nobody could know it. And then he lost his 6th one, and he said, that's it.
Talking of peaks, very quickly, this final story. Are you better in the morning or at night?
Well, I'm very much an early bird. I get up at 4:30 a.m, whatever I'm doing, and I love that part of the day. It's my part of the day. Nobody's around. However, in days gone by, I would have been both, because we used to work all day in Fleet Street, drink all night in Soho, and go straight back to work the following morning after breakfast.
And we knocked out the best papers as well.
We did.
And I'm a night owl, and actually find this 5 a.m. getting up to come here quite tough. So it shows how much I love you.
And Eamonn, you're obviously an early bird?
No, not in the slightest. I was always a night owl. You know, you have to be a morning bird doing this sort of thing. But as I get older, I'm an any bird. I'm there and then. And I don't know if it's going to be 10 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock at night, or whatever. Just take sleep when you can get it.
Indeed, yeah, absolutely. I'm obviously a very early morning bird as well. Scarlett and Mike, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you. That's it. Thank you this morning.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, thank you very much.
You might never see us again.
Well, where are you two off to then?
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning and welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. As the first week of February begins, the weather is still going to be very similar to what we saw in January. Many grey skies around and will be some more outbreaks of rain to come. Now, it was a chilly start, especially across Northern Ireland this morning. We had some icy patches here, but now things are starting to cloud over through this morning. We will see a few outbreaks of some showers across central England and Wales, and a bit more persistent rain across eastern Scotland as well. Winds here are pretty strong. We could see some gale force winds up towards those Northern Isles. Temperatures-wise, around what we would expect for the beginning of February, between sort of 6 and 9 degrees across the country. Now, this rain band across the south coming across the Channel, that is going to move its way northwards. So we do have another rain warning across the southwest through this evening and into tomorrow. Plenty of rain there already, so the ground is pretty saturated. A few more showers across Northern Ireland and that more persistent rain across Scotland will continue. A lot of that rain across those higher hills is turning towards snow as we go through this evening, and the winds are still remaining pretty strong across that eastern coast as well. Now, like I said, this rain will continue to move its way northwards. Places like Devon, Cornwall, Dorset have already seen over 200 millimetres across the course of January. So the ground is very saturated, and any rain that will fall will lead towards more flooding issues. But most places staying frost-free overnight. A lot of places staying around 3 or 4 degrees as we start Tuesday morning. Now, those rains towards the very far southwest will slowly start to ease through the morning, but otherwise a very damp start across the southern half of the UK. A little bit drier up towards the north, still clinging on to a lot of that cloud, but those winds again are picking up through the day, especially across that northeastern coast and those higher hills. But it will be a much fresher day to come. Temperatures up towards the north, highs of around 4 or 5 degrees.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you to our global community for watching and listening to GB News. We're not only the #1 news channel in Britain, we're chosen by you around the world.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the M74 southbound, the junction 6 off slip to Hamilton is closed for continuous essential roadworks. In North Yorkshire, the M62 eastbound entry slip at junction 34 is shut after a road traffic collision, with conditions improving around 11:15 this morning. Near Wigan, the M6 northbound between junction 25 and junction 26 has one lane closed following a crash, easing around 10:15 this morning. And on the trains, cross-country has disruption between Southampton Central and Brockenhurst, and Great Western Railway reports disruption on some routes. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
This year, the adventure of a lifetime could be on us. Courtesy of Riviera Travel, there's a terrific £10,000 holiday for two to be won. Choose from over 30 worldwide destinations like Thailand, South Africa, New Zealand or even Sri Lanka. We'll also boost your bank account with a fabulous £30,000 in tax-free cash.
For a chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB19 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 27th of February. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world. Am I allowed to talk now? No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Good morning. Now, Riannon White's mother has called out the political establishment on breakfast just moments ago.
Political-wise, not one single person has reached out.
Officially?
Officially, yeah. Not one person.
Well, that came just days after Riannon's illegal immigrant murderer was put behind bars for at least 29 years.
Meanwhile, Shadow Chancellor Mel Stride shared his condolences, calling for tighter migration controls.
This kind of incident and other incidents like it at all sorts of different levels happen because we have not controlled the level of illegal migration.
In other news, Peter Mandelson has quit the Labour Party after the latest batch of Epstein files appeared to reveal payments sent by the convicted paedophile to the former American ambassador.
The government draws up plans to engineer more diversity in the countryside after a report criticised places like the Cotswolds for being too white.
Struggling family pharmacies say it's an insult that the government hasn't extended business rate support to them. We're meeting some of those impacted later.
Yeah, just like pubs and music venues got that cut to business rates last week, today community pharmacies calling on the same relief to apply for them, warning if they don't get a cut to business rates, many will be forced to close.
Now, as we start the new month of February, will the weather change compared to January? Join me for all the latest later.
Well, you're starting a new day, a new week, a new month with us. Thank you very much indeed for your company. I'm Eamonn Holmes.
And I'm Dawn Newsroom, and this is GB News Breakfast. So good morning. Thank you so much for your company this morning. Very important day. We've just interviewed or had a chat with Siobhan White, the mother of murdered Riannon, and lots of you are getting in touch. Just going to read one out. This is from RJB. Such a powerful interview with Siobhan White after the murder of her daughter, which made me stop what I was doing. The murder of Riannon should never have happened. Unfortunately, we have useless MPs who put illegals over the rights of Brits. Such a sad loss of life. Lots of you are agreeing with that sentiment. Please do keep more coming in. gbnews.com/.
A lot of people are just very angry that they just don't see a political impetus or will to do something about this. There's lots of talk, but there seems to be very little action. And what happened to all this business of pulling out of the European Court of Human Rights, for instance?
Well, it's and you know what really made me angry at the weekend was when Keir Starmer was talking about the victims, as he should do, in the Epstein scandal. He goes, oh yeah, we should concentrate on the victims in this one. Think about the victims, young women and girls. And you know what? I listened to that, Eamonn, and I thought, well, where was your concern for the victims when thousands of young girls were being raped and abused in this country? Where was your concern then? Where is your concern now for people like Riannon White's family? Yeah. Where is your concern then? And we have had a statement from the Home Office today saying, you know, they share out our horror at this vile crime. Well, sharing your horror is all very great. It's like thoughts and prayers, isn't it? Why don't you just do something about it?
And especially, I think we keep quite quiet on the way that Riannon was murdered, how she was murdered, how brutal it actually was as well. But thank you very much indeed for expressing your concern about this, and we'll be reflecting that throughout the programme and throughout the day here on the channel.
Yes. Meanwhile, there is other stories to talk about. Indeed, the breaking story overnight was our former US ambassador Peter Mandelson has resigned because he didn't want to cause any more embarrassment for the Labour Party.
Well, that's after the latest tranche of Epstein files suggested that he received $75,000 in separate payments from Epstein in 2003 and 2004.
So let's speak to Chief Political Correspondent Catherine Forster. Catherine, this, I think, personally puts the Andros stuff sort of like in second place. I mean, this is a government minister allegedly taking money when he was a serving minister from a convicted paedophile.
Yes, it just gets worse and worse and worse for Peter Mandelson, who until late last year was the US ambassador. He was appointed by Number 10, Sir Keir Starmer and Morgan McSweeney, who championed him, despite the fact that they knew that he'd had a close relationship with Epstein, but of course they didn't know the details. So it now emerges that there's been allegedly tens of thousands of payments from Epstein to Mandelson and his husband, coming at a time in 2009 after Epstein had first been in jail. Now, just as the front pages were coming out last night, Peter Mandelson announced that he was stepping down from the Labour Party. He says that he is regretful and sorry. He wrote to the Labour
General Secretary Holly Ridley, and he said, allegations which I believe to be false, that Epstein made financial payments to me 20 years ago and of which I have no record or recollection, need investigating by me, but said that he's standing down to avoid further embarrassment to the Labour Party. Also, it's emerged that when he was business secretary in 2009, the then Chancellor, Alistair Darling, was introducing a banker's bonus tax, and according to an email from Epstein, between Epstein and Mandelson, Mandelson was trying to amend that and was advising JP Morgan's CEO to contact the Chancellor directly and, quote, mildly threaten. So this is government policy. He was the business minister and he was interfering to help big banking bosses and other friends of Epstein. There's also news emerging this morning via Dan Needle, who's a tax expert, that Peter Mandelson sent sensitive internal number 10 documents, including information about major policy changes, again, while he was in office. So it gets worse and worse. At the moment, he still has a peerage. He hasn't availed himself of that since he became US ambassador. He is not turning up at the House of Lords, but I think there will be a lot of cause for him to be stripped of that.
Catherine, thank you very much indeed. 7 minutes now past 9 o'clock. Small family-run pharmacies say that excluding them from business rate support is an insult.
Last week, the government announced a 15% reduction in business rates for pubs and music venues. Remember, that was their 15th future. It comes as part of a £300 million support package aimed at helping businesses.
Well, joining us now, GB News national reporter. Let's go to Will Godley, and he will tell us more about this from, indeed, a pharmacy.
Eamonn, Dawn, good morning to you. As you mentioned, that U-turn on business rates applying to pubs and music venues announced nearly a week ago, and since then we've heard from a number of businesses on the high street all wondering why the same business rates relief cut is not applying for them, whether that's cafes, restaurants and hotels. Many have been scratching their head why they are not receiving the same support. Of course, the government say it's about £1,650 for the average pub, so a notable amount of money. And today it's community pharmacies calling for the government to extend that support package to them, and that's exactly where I am today, at the New Days Pharmacy in Twyford, and I can speak to the CEO here and also the chair of the National Pharmacies Association, Olivier Pickard. Olivier, these business rates really impacting you. Just tell me about how they are impacting you here.
Yes, good morning. I own 4 community pharmacies and currently pay about £12,500 per year of business rate. On the 1st of April, without any help from the government, this is likely to double to over £24,000 per year.
And you don't have to be an expert when it comes to business to understand that is not good news for you. Just how will that impact you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, these extra costs are a problem. But on top of that, as a community pharmacy, because our model, our funding is 90% paid by the NHS, I can't fluctuate my prices. Everything that I do, dispense on prescription services that I offer, are capped and price fixed by the government. So none of those extra costs, whether they're living wage, whether they're employer's contribution or business rate, can be passed on to my customers or patients.
So that's a big difference then for you compared to other shops you're next to here on the high street, because some cafes, restaurants will be able to, maybe unwillingly, pass on these increased costs to their customers, but you're not able to do that. What impact, how's that going to leave you?
Yeah, indeed. And if you compare ourselves to other healthcare professionals like GPs and NHS dentists who currently get 100% of their business rate relief because they are considered essential for their communities, and a government that tells you go and visit your pharmacy first, it really a terrible rhetoric from the government and something that has to absolutely happen. Rachel Reeve is going to find herself in a very difficult position if she doesn't help pharmacies, because they are likely to close. And as the National Pharmacy Association, many of our members currently trade at a loss already, and these extra costs will just put additional pressure on their businesses.
So, I mean, today calling for the government to extend that U-turn on the business rates to community pharmacies. Speaking as the chair of the National Pharmacy Association, if they don't extend that cut to the community pharmacies, what impact will that have on the sector?
So in the last 10 years, just to give you an idea, we've already lost about 1,500 community pharmacies, and this is likely to continue unless the government steps in. So basically, pharmacies are closing at an alarming rate. This is the fastest ever, and these additional costs will just lead to further pharmacy closure at a time when the government is saying exactly the opposite: go and visit your pharmacy first. You need a network of community pharmacies to relieve pressure on other parts of the NHS, and the community pharmacy are ideally placed where people live. The government needs to look after us in exactly the same way as they do with NHS dentists, GPs and now pubs.
And we've heard from the government. The Treasury spokesperson has said they're backing high street businesses with a £4.3 billion support package to limit bill rises, alongside capping corporation tax, cutting red tape, and also taking action to relieve the cost of living crisis. Is any of that a comfort to you?
Look, any noise that would help pharmacy is great. You know, back in 2019, the National Pharmacy Association did a survey that revealed that 4 in 5 pharmacies would be trading at a loss by 2024. Today, 72% of pharmacies are losing money. So we need the government to step in. We need Rachel Reeves to come to the rescue of community pharmacy so that we are here for her, for patients, for our communities.
OK, Olivier, thank you so much for joining us on GB News. A clear message there from community pharmacies to the Treasury, who are wanting today that U-turn on business rates to apply for them as well.
Thank you very much, Will Godley there. And it has to be said, the pressure pharmacies are under at the moment, increasing on a weekly basis. Our local pharmacists.
The government are getting to do more and more things. They're becoming like mini hospitals.
Yeah,
So
absolutely, and more paperwork that goes with it as well.
Oh, that's always the way, isn't it?
So are we expecting U-turn number 16?
Well, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, a lot of you have been in touch and saying that you either missed or you'd like to see again what Siobhan White had to say about her daughter, her murdered daughter, Riannon, and we're going to touch upon that. We're going to replay part of that interview right after this.
Political-wise, not one single person has reached out.
Officially?
Officially, yeah. Not one person.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience, because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions. But every Friday night at 9 p.m, you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
Because
the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Do you trust what you're being told? Good, because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that, because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
We can allow.
Stop.
You think we can allow.
Politics, policy, parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Cates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Getting a lot of reaction coming in for Riannon White's mother, who was on the show speaking to us live about an hour ago. And Sylvia says, my heart broke for Riannon and her family, and the reality that lots of other families have gone through and are going through exactly the same thing. When is this country going to get a grip?
Yeah, and meanwhile, Ian says, as a criminal defence barrister who is generally anaesthetised to this kind of behaviour, your breakfast interview with Riannon White's mum, Siobhan, brought tears whilst I was driving on the way to court.
Alison says, the interview with Riannon's mum was so emotional that scumbag should be given the death penalty. A lot of people think that as well.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Baz has said, so sad to see a mother grieving for a child. Once again, the working class, normal people have to pay the price for the ideology of a hopeless government. Stop the talk, stop the platitudes, and get a grip on this ridiculous legal immigration system.
Well, as I say, it was an hour ago that she was in the studio talking to us, and this is what she had to say.
Political-wise, not one single person has reached out.
Officially?
Officially, yeah. Not one person.
Could I ask you, Siobhan, you've got your grief, you're talking to us today, live after that sentence on Friday. How are you coping? Who's looking after you? How are you coping with your grief?
I'm lucky I've got a strong family, a good support group, but as I explained to Dawn earlier, I am mentally and physically drained. After today, I will be taking time back to try and unwind, because I don't think I've really had time to grieve.
No.
Because 2 days after Riannon's verdict, my mum passed away. Broken heart. So basically, he's got the death of 2 people on his hands.
You said after the sentence that your life ended with Riannon's that day.
Yeah.
I mean, no mother should have to go through what you're going through.
I mean, the only thing that's kept me going is my other children and my grandchildren. But then you live a life of being scared of what life have they got. They're having lockdowns in schools. They shouldn't be doing that to children of 7 and 8.
If you did get to see Keir Starmer face to face, what would you say to him?
That this needs to be done. Would he be sitting there, flying off to China and doing all this if it was his child, his wife, his niece, his family member? No, he'd take a firm stance on it then, wouldn't he?
And I have to say, I mean, obviously, I'm a woman. I just feel so much that the safety of women and girls in this country is being put at risk by so many
Exactly, yeah. Exactly, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if you're aware that Tommy Robinson turned up on Friday, and it was a lovely surprise. And he didn't make it about himself, he made it about him. And he was right. Where is the support of our women and children? Where is it? British Transport Police, if they hadn't have made that arrest within 5 hours, would he have gone? He's already been to Libya, he's already been to Italy, been to France, denied asylum in both countries, yet they welcome him into this country.
Yeah, that's the bit I couldn't understand.
No, and we still don't know why he was denied asylum, but
he's denied, and yet they say, oh, just go to Britain.
Just come to England. He was in this country 11 weeks when he took my daughter's life. 11 weeks. Now, if British Transport hadn't made that arrest, would he have got away with it again? Because I don't believe this is his first time.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. We don't know.
I don't. He's lied so much, though. I don't believe a word that comes out of his mouth.
Siobhan, we were seeing pictures of Riannon on screen there, whatever, and it must be very touching just looking at her and seeing her there, beautiful smiling face and whatever. How much do you miss her?
I can't. Every day. Every day. Every second of the day. And I'll continue to miss her. Sorry.
Why would you be sorry?
I just miss her. I miss her laugh, her stupidity, because she was very quirky. But I miss her. She came to live with me. We became best friends. We did everything together.
Yeah.
And this scumbag has took her from me.
I know. See, we noticed you know, you're crying, you're sobbing now, and lots of people will be crying along with
But I've
you.
spent the last 15 months doing this, and I've had to stay strong for my child, my children. But I'm angry. And I'm frustrated. Yes, we got justice, and we got it pretty quick considering a lot of cases. But he's ended our lives, really.
Siobhan White, Riannon White's mother. Andrew and Miriam are watching that with us, and they're on next with Britain's Newsroom.
So what a
Morning.
powerful, brave, extraordinary. I'm gobsmacked that no politicians, apart from Dan Grimes, have made any contact with her. Quite extraordinary.
You know what, I'm not that surprised, Andrew. If you go back to 2024 when this happened, our Sir Keir Starmer put out a tweet about how honoured he was to meet the mother of our Brianna Guy, who was also brutally murdered. And he said, I'm in awe of her strength and bravery in the face of such unimaginable grief.
Yeah.
No one has been in contact with Siobhan. No one.
It was so moving, especially hearing her speak about Rihanna's little boy, his son, and his fears following her death. He'll never recover from that. It's so tragic.
He wants to work in a hospital nurse, so no other women suffer like his mummy did.
It's so sad.
She took 3 days to die.
Yeah, I know. Just terrible.
And it makes you so angry that people are still advocating for open borders, saying that we should let people in. It doesn't matter about safety checks. I mean, if this doesn't explain why that cannot happen anymore, I don't know what does.
We can sit here and get upset and angry, Miriam, but we need someone to do something about it.
Guys, what are you doing this morning?
Well, we got an interesting conversation with a teacher who quit the profession because she was sick to death of changing children's nappies. That is not the...
Oh, ridiculous.
Is it?
So this is following on from the report that so many children now aren't ready for school, not just not potty trained, but not speaking the English language properly. And what can be done about this?
Can't use a knife and fork.
Exactly. And how can we make life easier for teachers as well? So all that, and an exclusive interview with Kemi Badenoch we've got.
Looking forward to that,
oh,
of
wow,
course.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, yeah, lots to come. And, of course, we will be following up on the Lord Mandelson story. Could Keir Starmer have avoided this latest embarrassment for the Labour Party? All
yes,
that
he could.
Coming up after your weather.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning and welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. As the first week of February begins, the weather is still going to be very similar to what we saw in January. Many grey skies around and will be some more outbreaks of rain to come. Now, it was a chilly start, especially across Northern Ireland this morning. We had some icy patches here, but now things are starting to cloud over through this morning. We will see a few outbreaks of some showers across central England and Wales, and a bit more persistent rain across eastern Scotland as well. Winds here are pretty strong. We could see some gale force winds up towards those Northern Isles. Temperatures-wise, around what we would expect for the beginning of February, between sort of 6 and 9 degrees across the country. Now, this rain band across the south coming across the Channel, that is going to move its way northwards. So we do have another rain warning across the southwest through this evening and into tomorrow. Plenty of rain there already, so the ground is pretty saturated. A few more showers across Northern Ireland and that more persistent rain across Scotland will continue. A lot of that rain across those higher hills is turning towards snow as we go through this evening, and the winds are still remaining pretty strong across that eastern coast as well. Now, like I said, this rain will continue to move its way northwards. Places like Devon, Cornwall, Dorset have already seen over 200 millimetres across the course of January. So the ground is very saturated, and any rain that will fall will lead towards more flooding issues. But most places staying frost-free overnight. A lot of places staying around 3 or 4 degrees as we start Tuesday morning. Now, those rains towards the very far southwest will slowly start to ease through the morning, but otherwise a very damp start across the southern half of the UK. A little bit drier up towards the north, still clinging on to a lot of that cloud, but those winds again are picking up through the day, especially across that northeastern coast and those higher hills. But it will be a much fresher day to come. Temperatures up towards the north, highs of around 4 or 5 degrees.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you, Britain, for helping us reach 10 million followers across social media. We are truly honoured to have your trust, one follower at a time.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the M8 westbound, the junction 19 off-slip is experiencing restrictions due to a broken-down vehicle. Meanwhile, on the M4 eastbound at junction 33 near Capel Lanilturn, congestion is currently building up on the off-slip road. In Durham, the A66 westbound is closed between the A1M and the junction with the A67 following a crash, with recovery anticipated by just before midday. On the railways, cross-country services between Southampton Central and Brockenhurst are facing disruptions, and Great Western Railway is also reporting disruption on several routes. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Martin Daubney, weekdays from 3 p.m.
Yes, thanks for having me very much. Yeah, they are struggling at the moment quite a lot. I mean, of course, we hear about taxes and the way that rates are changing, but actually pubs, over the last 2 years, whilst I've been going across the country, have been telling me over and over again, it gets harder and harder just to exist.
And you've got social media accounts, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people watch your amazing videos where you go into a boozer, you tell its story, you talk to locals, you get right to the heart and soul, because pubs aren't just about pounds and pence, they're about communities, they're about the mortar that holds together the bricks of Britain.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, who would have thought when I started doing this 2 years ago that I would be here now with almost 500,000 followers? It is a crazy experience. Of course, you know, this for me started as a hobby. You know, and I'm going to give away my age now. As 20 years ago, as a group of 20-somethings, we would be going into London for our birthdays and get pretty bored of some of the soulless, expensive bars that would exist, and, you know, very aware of the fact that we're in one of the greatest cities in the world with 3,500 pubs, and between those pubs, some of the most iconic sites that you can see, all, you know, anywhere in the world, and tourists come from everywhere to see them. That was our excuse then to go out on a pub crawl.
And I've been through your top 10 pubs, Thomas Vosper. I've been to 4 out of 10 of them. I'm delighted to see that the old trip to Jerusalem and Nottingham, my home city, is there.
I think the beauty of a pub is that what makes it special is very personal to you.
Yes.
One of the questions I do get asked more than any other is, what's the best pub to go to? But of course, some of them are huge, grand banking halls, buildings that have been repurposed, some of those old little pubs where you've got a nice flat warm ale and a fire to sit next to.
GB News, the People's Channel.
All too often, people will be sitting at home watching a press conference live, and they'll hear loads of questions being asked, and they'll be thinking, that's not my question, that's not my concern.
We don't care whose feathers we ruffle. We ask the questions that you want answering.
You're all standing on the street protesting and want to have an open discussion.
My name is Patrick Christys. I do a show for GB News in the UK. Is it possible to talk to you quickly?
Journalism in this country has been a cosy world full of groupthink until now.
Well, this is the best view ever of Whitehall, looking out across all the tractor drivers of England who've come together to make their point.
Hello, so as you can see, I'm here in Westminster as the protest begins.
Yes, I'm very much in the thick of it.
Look, we're challenging narratives here at GB News, and that's what sets us apart.
Good morning. It's Monday, the 2nd of February. It's 9:30, live across the UK. Britain's Newsroom with Andrew Pierce and Miriam Cates.
Well, Riannon White's mother has called out the political establishment on GB News after her daughter was brutally murdered by an illegal immigrant.
Political-wise, not one single person has reached out.
Officially?
Officially, yeah. Not one person.
This comes just days after the asylum seeker Dane Majek is sentenced to a minimum term of 29 years in prison for brutally killing Riannon with a screwdriver.
Because Riannon's not the first case, and sadly she won't be the last. But we were handed a life sentence today. I had to watch my daughter die.
They knew everything.
Did you therefore deserve to be sacked?
But
not the emails, but aside from
because
that...
they came as a surprise to me.
Peter Mandelson quits the Labour Party, saying he does not wish to cause further embarrassment over his links to the paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. And he says that he has no recollection of receiving $75,000 from him.
I have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat, or I didn't sweat at the time.
Well, I bet Sir Keir Starmer's sweating now as there are calls for the ex-Duke of York to testify in America over his links to Jeffrey Epstein.
And more on Benefits Britain. New research finds that more than 6 million workers would be better off on benefits, as Britain is on track to become the biggest spender on benefits in the G7.
Shabana Mahmood is hard as nails, and whether it is tackling disorder and lawlessness on our streets or tackling the insecurity at our borders, you can expect a tough and effective approach from this Home Secretary.
Smashing the gangs, engines and now social media videos too. People who post online about illegal routes into Britain will face up to 5 years in prison.
And a double candidacy debacle. A London councillor is still pocketing £20,000 from taxpayers while running for office 5,000 miles away in Bangladesh.
And then there's an inclusive countryside initiative. Of course there is. The government wants to diversify the great outdoors and make it into a less white environment.
And it's National Sickie Day. The first Monday of February is apparently the worst day of the year for people skiving from work. Are you watching at home? Are you one of them?
Well, we'll be showing some clips of the interview with Riannon White's mother, which was extraordinary, powerful, moving and shocking at the same time, Miriam.